she's used to running campaigns and has strong organization in place with a history of getting supporters to the polls. Staffers tell us they have people calling, texting, and knocking on doors as we speak, and they like the feedback they're getting.
People, they say they're tired of the status quo. They want something new, and a lot of people trust Nithya from the work that she's done in City Hall, from her background and why she got there in the first place, from her background in working on housing and homelessness. Somebody who, unlike a lot of politicians, is will continue to evolve with the times, and realizes we need to build housing in this city, and we need to build it now.
And she hasn't only just talked about housing, but also about tenants' rights. So her campaign feels that she will do very well with renters, and that is why they are out all over the city, we are told, trying to get renters and other supporters to the ballot box. And as we speak, we're told that the candidate is making phone calls. They say that she will then have dinner with her family and then head here for the watch party, which is expected to start at around 8 o'clock. Live in downtown LA, I'm Christy Fajardo. Let's send it back to you.
All right, Christy, thank you so much. We'll be right back with more election coverage. Stay with us.
It's about 500 acres on the north.
Once the sun starts coming down and the phones won't overheat until then we're here. Once it's cooler and the heat will not cause the phones to overheat, then I'll start moving up there. We're in a parking structure, Looney Tunes. I'm up on the third floor of the parking structure, third level. Evan? Yeah, you? Tired? Is Scott here? Oh, you've been here before?
He's walking, yeah, that's why he's like,
Oh, you have finals? $100 match challenge put up by Oh Uncle Bill. Thank you so much. So Oh Uncle Bill will match dollar for dollar up to $100. Thank you. And for much. covers my day of work. I'm gonna miss tonight. So welcome in everybody who's just tuning in right now. We have an active bomb threat situation, active hostage situation. 8 hostages are being reported inside. Do not know if there's any more people inside the building hiding at this moment. Heather, nice to see you, and welcome in all of our regular viewers, and welcome in you new viewers. If you're new to the channel, first, third, second time, third time watching, do me a favor, hop the stream out, hit that like, follow, subscribe. It's not costing you a dime to do it, and it really helps our algorithm. It helps get the channel out there. I do cover many events, protests, standoff situations like this, nationwide news. Travel about 30-something states in the last 3 years covering these, so if you guys like breaking news, hit that subscribe, follow.
Kind of deal right now. His staff
Also, Los Angeles news helicopters are coming into town, guys. Made out of gunpowder, nails, in other words, some type of grenade. He claims it has about a 15 to 20 feet radius if it goes off. He does have a kill switch detonator also in his hand. So he has a wire run from his chest all the way to the bomb. If they were to snipe him out and take him down, he falls back. The bomb will go off according to him. Courtney Sink, I think you're correct. I think we're in for a very long night, maybe into tomorrow. I'm in it for the long run, guys. So, hopefully it is. Hopefully it gets resolved peacefully. Nobody gets hurt. But I'll be out here for the whole thing. Power bank has 94 hours left to charge the phone, so over 3 days. So, and then I do have a charger for it. Charges for it for a while.
Get in the zone. Ocean zone.
Cass said that he was only in the Marines for about a year and a half, or a long discharge. That information came across the scanner as well. About an hour ago. Or over an hour ago. Take it back, spend 2.5 hours. That information came across the scanner about 3 hours ago. Man, I didn't realize we've been live for almost 3 hours. Yellow.
We were making sure we had at least 2-3 people that were.
His 40th congressional district. Incumbent Congresswoman Young Kim is facing fellow Republican Congressman Ken Calvert after Proposition 50 redrew the state's congressional maps. Both candidates have high.
Billy McFly, thanks so much for that super chat. If you guys want to see Google Maps, this is off 17th Street and I Street. I'm currently facing south. The camera is facing south on I Street, in between 18th Street and 17th. I Street, E-Y-E Street. Command center is located in between 18th and 17th Street, facing south. That's what the camera's facing right now. Yeah, he is ex-military, but information we got of the police scanner was that he came off and was only a Marine from here. Almost dispatch. Amy, are you in here? She got the information for us. Was it a year and a half, and then he got discharged? Or if our dispatch is in here, she'll update us. She's been listening to the scanner. She's been writing all the stuff down. Okay, she has to step away, so one of the mods will update. She sent screenshots of it, so. This is the bomb squad vehicle you're looking at right now. Let me zoom out a little bit. The yellow RV looking vehicle there, that's the command post, the command center. All comms are in there, along with the comms over at the bomb squad trailer. $100 match challenge underway. Any amount will help. Thank you so much. Uncle Bill's from the match dollar for dollar to support the stream. Our links are down there. Much appreciated. Uncle Bill. Stacy, thank you so much. So 75 has been matched. So thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Melanie. 75 out of the 100.
Their voices heard. The registrar's office confirms consistent lines at polling places across Riverside County. Officials report the rush began about 11 this morning and has maintained a steady pace. And a reminder, there's still time to vote. You have an hour, 32 minutes, and 9 seconds and counting. We're very precise around here. The polls and ballot drop boxes, they're open until 8 p.m. And if you are in line when the polls close, even if you step into line at 7:59 tonight, you will still be able to vote. So it's not too late. And please stay with Fox 11, our election night live coverage. We have coverage all night long. You can find us on Fox 11, where we are right now, on Fox 11 Plus, also known as Channel 13, and on the Fox Local app. That means we are streaming at all times, foxla.com/live. You cannot miss us. We will be here. Christine Devine and I have you covered from 8 o'clock tonight until 11, 8 to 11 tonight. Results will start trickling in shortly after 8 o'clock, so you can look forward to that in our coverage. In the meantime, I'm Marla Tejas here for the Fox 11 News at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much. West Coast Rap starts in about a minute. We leave you with the Eagles in Big Bear. Oh.
So we're back. I don't know if you guys could hear this. Let me put it a little bit closer. So second half, which means the suspect is asking for his case files. For those of you just tuning in, let me bring you guys what case files he's asking for. He's claiming he's innocent into a case that he got convicted of. He's claiming that there's corruption here in Kern County, from what we gather so far, and he has demanded his case files from the FBI to prove his innocence. He has requested an FBI negotiator to hand over his criminal case files, and also he has threatened them that he does not have to be alive to clear his name, and all he wants is just his case files. That's where we're at right now. So the scanner's here. Hopefully you guys will pick it up. I might just, let me see if I could just hook up the scanner to the Startling backpack, turn off the fan and the vehicle.
Staff 11, suspect is allowing the door to be opened again for negotiator.
Can you guys hear that? Were you guys able to hear the scanner clearly? Before I shut off power to the vehicle? Alright, cool. I don't gotta shut off power then. We'll keep it as it is. We'll keep everything charging up. Peyton Jackson and Mikey, thank you.
Suspect again identified. He has no intentions of being around for a follow-up. Suspect again identified. He has no intentions of being around for a follow-up.
So it's another threat from the suspect. He has no intentions being around for a follow-up. So in other words, he does not get his demands. He has no intentions of being around. Yeah.
County is about on track with previous elections with about 91,000 ballots received so far. Also tonight, we are following the contentious race for the mayor of Los Angeles, and this race has gotten heated in its final days. Recent polls show former television personality Spencer Pratt gaining in the polls as he looks to unseat incumbent Mayor Karen Bass. In an interview with TMZ yesterday, Mayor Bass took aim at what she calls Pratt's lack of experience and questioned whether he's ever held any paying job. Mayor Bass claimed Pratt doesn't understand how government operates.
She says, not only do I have experience, but I've had success. And she quoted, statistics about crime being down 60% in Los Angeles.
Now, Pratt, who appeared in the reality series The Hills 20 years ago, defended how he spent his windfall from the show. In a podcast interview, he said his spending sprees back then helped support friends and people around him, and he says he would not change a thing. All right, let's dive a little deeper on the L.A. mayor's race, and we want to get to Fox 11's Nick Garcia joining us live from Los Angeles tonight from Mayor Bass's watch party. What is the sense there, Nick?
Right, Alex, good evening to you. Well, I can tell you nobody has arrived just yet. That's because the doors haven't opened to guests, and Mayor Bass has not yet arrived here. But this watch party, they certainly set it up, and they're hoping it will turn into some kind of victory party, though we know looking at those polls, it is unlikely that any of those candidates will pull ahead enough. We're likely going to a runoff election here. But like you were mentioning there, she's really been leaning into her experience over the past 4 years, and even previous to that, her record of public service compared to her competitors. More than a dozen people on the ballot for the mayor's race here. Of course, those top 3 candidates, though, really going at it. It's been very contentious, grabbing the attention not only here in the city, but statewide, even nationally.
Nick, is there a sense that Mayor Bass is sort of anticipating that she is going to face off against Spencer Pratt in the general election in November? We have seen her sort of take aim with a lot of criticism aimed at Spencer Pratt. Is that sort of the sense in the campaign?
It certainly seems like that. So far, the staff has kind of told me they do expect, like you were speaking before, about those early numbers leaning Republican, which means we may see big Pratt numbers to begin with. But as the night goes on, they feel confident that she will pull ahead, and then those two will face off in November.
All right, Nick Garcia live for us tonight at Mayor Bass's headquarters in Los Angeles. Of course, we'll be checking in with you throughout the night. Nick, thank you. Also in Southern California, L.A. County Sheriff Robert Luna is seeking a second term and facing 7 challengers. They include retired Sheriff's Captain
and you hear them behind me chanting "Free them all," and I'll talk to people. You have a prisoner with a major colon issue. He's been in prison there for a year and requires surgery. He's had 2 blood transfusions. He's got severe anemia now inside, an enlarged prostate. He has to get surgery in a hospital. Geo Group is not sending him because they don't want to pay for hospitalization. A company that made $254 million last year doesn't want to pay for it. And it's become this game of hot potato because they tell ICE to pay for it, and ICE won't pay for the treatment for the hostages. There's another prisoner with a serious kidney issue. I'm not sure if it's kidney failure. I don't know. But I was just told kidney issue, needs hospital treatment. Geo Group will not allow it. Prisoners who are suffering from serious mental health issues, including hallucinations, suicidal ideations, wanting to commit suicide. They need mental health treatment. They won't release them even temporarily. Geo Group is refusing to send prisoners for long-term hospitalization or outside medical treatment if ICE doesn't pay for it. Because, of course, it's all about the money. All about the money. And the protests have put pressure on local judges to speed up their hearings, basically. Their hearings for their habeas corpus petitions. A lot of these prisoners have had habeas corpus petitions up before the court for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They can't see a judge, so they're just languishing in here, essentially with no due process, kidnapped. So that's part of why I'm saying the protests are working, because judges are now speeding up hearing cases from those prisoners. State police have handed off to Newark police, which, as you can see, I think this is, at the moment, a better response to this. Also, I've told you about essentially the FBI and Homeland Security went in there and ransacked a mutual aid tent that a right-wing propagandist put out lies that it was some commie Antifa tent and that it had like thousands of dollars of food in there. Yeah, no, it had pizza. It had lasagna. It had coffee. It had donated diapers. Oh my God. The threat, the donated diapers. Oh my. It had donated clothing. And the FBI and HSI, you have to wonder, like, doesn't the FBI have like more serious things to deal with? Like, I don't know, the rising white supremacist terrorism in the country, the white nationalists, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, Trump's whole cabinet. No, they're terrorizing a mutual aid tent. So they ransacked it. And I spoke with one of the lead organizers. By the way, the mutual aid tent is not involved with the protest. The mutual aid tent has been here since January. And the organizers had to fight for that tent. They were out here in the freezing cold during the winter without that protection of a tent for the weather. They had to fight to get the tent. They're not involved with the protest, but the organizers told me that it's really hard. It's really tough to even go in because it reeks of tear gas. Because Governor Sherrill's stormtroopers unleashed tear gas. Hey, can you get the Grateful Dead guy? I just had to get you on camera. I missed you earlier. You've been here all day. You got the Fuck Ice shirt, the drums. Homemade. Homemade. Tell me your response to this. I mean, it's better than grenades and gas.
I just said it earlier. They didn't get rid of the free speech zone. They just reinforced it with stronger material. Because if you saw earlier, like if those of you who can't see, they got this thing all the way down the road. And so they're still opening up opportunity for ICE to bring people out or come back in. And the state police are facing us and not ICE, and they're protecting this essentially. So I feel like it was, what's the phrase? Like, you know, it's a win, but it's still a defeat. You know, it's like we won, we didn't win this battle, but we're still fighting in the war, so to speak.
It basically just kind of penned you into a quote unquote free speech zone. Yeah,
and penned us in with concrete too. Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, this area here seems blocked off for ICE.
It does.
Can't come out here. Yep. But they can come out the other entrance.
I mean, and they've come out other entrances as well. I mean, I believe they snuck the hunger strike in Martin out, right? They snuck them out the back. they have ways to get out here. I wouldn't be surprised if they had like secret ways out of this place. So
to me, and this is just speculation. I'm just
allegedly.
I don't know, but it just seems to me like the governor, through the things she has said, really seems to not want to poke the bear when it comes to Trump.
It really feels
she's talked about like, I don't want to give the president a quote pretext to escalate in New Jersey, basically to make New Jersey Minneapolis. So this kind of seems to me like, I don't know if it's the governor or the mayor, but making a deal with DHS. All right, we'll make this thing Fort Knox here. Protesters won't be able to get anywhere near or block. And you let out some young people, and you let out some of the sick. Do you think there's kind of a deal kind of here?
I mean, the stench of bribery is reeking the air right now. There had to be some handshakes. We were talking about it earlier before the curfew broke. There must have been some talk behind closed doors, the room where it happens, and it's like it stinks to high heaven. But you can tell that there was a compromise. But it's at the cost of our freedom, essentially. I still am flabbergasted, and for those watching the live stream, it's like the whole road should be ours. This should belong to us, the public and the people. But this entire road is split in half. It's always been split in half since they set up the free speech amendment zone on the street. And I feel like these concrete barriers that are right here, they should be there, like against ICE, not against us. And we should have the street.
And also, obviously, this is about what's going on inside.
It is.
I'm told that people are really sick with kidney issues, colon issues, mental health issues. I was told about some type of stomach bug going around, which kind of makes sense if you're being fed maggots. Contrary to what the governor claimed, she claimed that she convinced DHS to restore full visitation. They've actually reduced visitation down to once a week for 30 minutes for loved ones. And if you've ever been in a hospital or prison or whatever, your main source of fuel is that visitation of your loved ones. So it just seems to be like, whether it's people outside or the people inside.
All fronts, right? It's happening on all fronts, the suppression and the not just of our rights here as public citizens, but the rights of the hostages, because they are hostages in there, inside. And you would expect, the prison incarceration system is fucked either way, but you would expect them, and I think it's in their policies, right? They are supposed to treat the prisoners humanely, and they're supposed to, at least get them help when they need it. If they need medical help, they should get it. So what we're seeing is, they're not ignoring it, they're just flat out intentionally not doing it. And this all feels very intentional. And it feels like we're experiencing a bookend of fascism, essentially. It's on all fronts here.
I'd like to ask, I don't want to make this about politics because it's about the prisoners, but I do think this should be asked. We're now in June, so about 5 months before what a lot of people think is the most important midterm election ever. And I just feel like, people could do whatever they want, but I do feel like a lot of people who are ready and even to vote for Democrats that they kind of have to hold their nose for to vote for this week are a little disenchanted and might be thinking twice about voting, period. What are your thoughts?
Well, so for context, I'm a resident of New York City, so I'm not a resident of New Jersey. But my thoughts are that Cheryl she's finished. I think her career's pretty much done by this point, or at least if it's not done, it's completely tarnished by her actions this last week, especially not just to us here, but especially to those inside. I mean, and we all saw she just showed up for a quick second and then left. Didn't even stick around for the mayor. I don't think she stuck around for the mayor's press conference either. I mean, what more evidence do you need that you don't want to face accountability for what you did than this? And not to mention to you guys at Status Quo for standing up to the freedom of the press, because I think of all the offenses, pile on the offenses, but to suppress you guys, to threaten arrest, to say you can only do coverage in certain areas, take her to court. That's a clear.
I'm talking to the ACLU, and I don't know what's bigger, these drums or John Farina's big balls back there.
We'll see who booms the loudest. Definitely. But yeah, to my thoughts on.
You got family over there.
Staff 11, the suspect is again asking for the female last of Williams and his daughter.
She was 6 years old. Now she's 17.
To vote Democrat in the state with someone like Cheryl running this thing, and yeah. So
what's your name again?
Name's RJ.
Thank you, RJ.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Smash the like button. Share this live stream so we can get it out. The more people that press the like button, the more people that comment. Super chats are really appreciated, and most.
You think so?
Just tuning in, he wants his case files, guys. He was convicted of a crime.
Well, he's already talking about.
As of yet, we have speculations.
It's a done deal.
But nothing has
they're gonna bargain ship. Yeah, if you're gonna release all the hostages,
YouTube channel.
Maybe you can talk to your daughter, maybe on the phone or something.
He wants his case files.
Who knows?
Prove something that he's innocent about. He's requested for the FBI negotiators to hand over those original files.
Camps all around the country. We saw it. We were down there at Alligator Alcatraz in Florida. We've been down there at the Broadview camp in Chicago. We've been there at Whipple, which in Minneapolis, which the media doesn't tell you, is literally standing on the shadows of a Native American concentration camp. They put the Whipple building that they're abducting people in Minneapolis. And we just spoke with somebody from Minneapolis today who's here. ICE has not left Minneapolis. It might not be as wild, wild west as it was, but they're still there. They're still abducting people. It's still bad. So right now it's kind of status quo. You see the police there, some type of sheriff out there. Let's see if we can speak with more. Is that the guy from the Black Panthers? Okay. But it's pretty calm, relatively. Let me see if I can speak with some more people out here. Can I interview you? I saw you were kind of leading things. Status quo.
Sure.
Hold on. So I saw you were speaking with, the local police, etc., trying to figure out what was going on. Tell me about, they've allowed folks back, so that's a good thing. It's obviously more guarded out. But what do you think in terms of kind of the response to protesters tonight?
A little bit much better. We're just kind of waiting for the rest of the demands that we asked for the people. So we're just kind of waiting to hear from the real higher-ups out there. You know, they're kind of sending middle people in the middle, and we kind of don't feel safe with those decisions. So it's kind of like our duty to make sure that the people are safe and follow to the best extent, because at the end of the day, right, we don't want nobody getting hurt out here.
And can you tell folks about those demands? Because I think we're already starting to see it. It seems some of the demands, I don't want to say fully being met, but we've heard some of the younger people have been released. That was one of the organizers' demands, for the sickest inside to be released. There was like an 18-year-old girl released. They have minors in there. Tell us some of your demands.
Man, K.
So I mean, obviously we far from that goal, right? You know, folks want this place eventually closed without transfers. They want folks released, right? Hunger strikers don't want better conditions. That's like a reform approach. We want them released, right? And in order for that to happen is we need elected officials to be on a mandate, to be in full defense of those that are directly impacted, to be in full defense of hearing the cries and pain, trauma, and suffering of those that are hurting and suffering the most, which in this case are the hunger strikers. They went on a hunger strike and underway the hunger strike initially to get the public attention into what is happening inside there. With the state-sanctioned violence that we have been met with out here, it's nothing compared to what has gone on out here. We have cameras out here. There's no cameras in there. They are literally suffering. They are being tortured, living in inhumane, anti-black, rooted in white supremacist conditions that must end.
And I think it's important because a lot of people don't realize this, and I found this out today. There were guards inside a couple days ago when things were really chaotic out here, guards telling prisoners inside, tell the protesters to stop and things will get better in here. And the prisoners inside said, no, we're not gonna tell. So not only are they going on a hunger strike, but they, I don't want to say chose, but they absorbed getting beaten.
I'm going to correct that for you. They resist back, because as long as injustice remains law, resistance is duty. And resistance, a part of their freedom, is paramount, because all liberation is through our collective liberation. Nobody's free unless we're all free, right? But what is happening here is just a preventable easy way to stop it, right? It's having a government that should be working for the people. It should be working for those that are hurting and suffering the most, right? I want to just piggyback off of the state-sanctioned violence again. Many people out here have all been peaceful. The violence have not been incited from this side. It has been incited from the state. The state is solely responsible for everything that people have endured, including myself, including so many others. But like I said, we'll take that rubber bullet or that mace, that pepper spray anytime, because we know that they are still living under more horrible, deplorable conditions. We have siblings inside that are being told to drink piss. We have siblings inside that are still on a lockdown in Unit 2B because they have been resisting back with power, trying to, grant themselves a collective freedom.
And I'm told by some of the organizers who have been in touch with prisoners, there's people with serious kidney issues. They won't let them go to a hospital.
Denied legal services, that are being denied access to attorneys, that are being denied visitation still from their families. Not everybody is still granted visitations. There's still a lot of spouses out here that haven't seen their loved ones, a lot of parents that haven't seen their kids, and that's still something that has been nothing but crickets and word salad from this governor.
I'd like to bring the elephant in the room, which is the money. Geo Group needs butts in the beds to make money. They made $254 million in profit. Right. So, they don't want to send prisoners to the hospital. They don't want to release them because they have $1 billion contract, and you need prisoners inside to keep the vendor contracts, etc., to keep charging. I was talking to a wife who's paying nearly $200 a week to put money into the phone line to call her loved one. Think about that. They take your husband, and then you got to pay nearly $200 while the economy is such hell. So it just seems like, not just this, the prison system in this country in general, it just seems like a really...
Human beings. That is also slavery in action. Profiting off of human beings, profiting off of the backs of black and brown people. That goes back to the same era of the slave trade, right? That's white supremacy in action.
Two things, right? Shut down Delaney Hall. And number two, you believe in the First Amendment?
Yeah.
You know how it feels that we've been right here and those rights were violated literally the whole entire 10 days. So we're here for the people. The people united will never be defeated. And it's sad that we have to deal with these things, that our rights have been violated, but we still out here for the people.
And I also wonder what you think the last few days that the state kind of moved people down there, which obviously has the effect of less people coming out. It just seems to me like the governor was trying to kill the protest. I don't know what other way to say it.
Absolutely. She has authorized fatalities to occur. Everybody could have been murdered out here, and I have blood, that's on her hands. My brother has blood, that's on her hands. My brother has... Right, all of our blood is on her hands because she has authorized one of the most racist agencies that are leading the state, which is the same state agency, like the same state police who was chasing down Sister Asada Shakur, who was trying to gun her down. The same agency like that who have killed Maurice Gordon and Amir Johnson on the State Parkway and the State Turnpike. And she has no plan to remedy that. She's aided and abetted to that lynching that is occurring. But what they did was just nothing but anti-blackness and inhumane acts.
And my last question for you. I feel like we're in the twilight zone sometimes because the president, he's backing down now, but I don't trust it. He's been trying to push nearly $2 billion to give to January 6 convicts who rushed the reparations while keeping people in here who literally were going to their immigration judge hearing.
I'm glad you touched up on that because it is a syndrome in this country that is called the complexion for the protection for the connection. And that syndrome is alive and well. That is what he's doing, and what all of these politicians are doing is striving so hard to get this country to be back what our ancestors have fought for, which was inclusion, which was black love, which was, us to be able to thrive and to be ourselves, to get here to this day. Nothing we gain come without a fight, and anything that we're up against, we're always going to be up against a fight. But that is a syndrome, and it's called the complexion for the protection for the connection. They want this to be the land of the whites, so we're not going to let that happen, because black is beautiful, and we got the sauce.
One more question. It really stands out to me. You got this military tank out here. God knows how much that costs. All the militarized police, not just with ICE, the city police, all the weaponry, like
health services, housing, room and shelter, board. You name it.
All this money that could be going to help people.
Our people. Yeah. So you said it yourself, right? All that could go to our people, and look what's happening. But again, that's what we're here for. Thank you, brother. How was
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. What's your name?
Kason, what's your name?
Kason. Jordan.
Nice to meet you. Miguel.
Miguel, thank you. Smash the like button, share this live stream. I mean, you wonder why you never hear these folks on CNN. You hear dumb shit pundits who don't know shit about shit. When you have really intelligent, articulate, passionate, authentic people who have been through it out on the streets. And that's kind of why Status Quo launched in the first place, because I was really fucking tired of hearing pundits tell us what the American people are going through when they're all millionaires and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Can I bring you on? So, get the tank, since he's got the 6th term. So, for those that have been watching, this is Ian Austin, 6th term, combat vet, Afghanistan. I mean, this might as well be a seventh tour. I don't want to be too dramatic, but...
Or 8th. I thought Minnesota was 7th. Maybe.
You were arrested in Minneapolis for the crime of protesting in a church, which is still insane. But just tell us, because you've been out here now for like 5-6 days. Do you still have that mark there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this happened to him the other night, if you could zoom in on that.
One of six rounds that hit me. They also threw 3 flashbangs at me. And, I have a friend that died from a flashbang. They were throwing things that could have killed me at me.
I want to bring that up. If my douchebag brother is watching, because my brother told me earlier, flashbangs, there's nothing in it. It's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, tell him there's nothing in it. And yes, you can die from a flashbang. Because I don't think people realize that it's really miraculous nobody died here the last 5-6 days.
Absolutely. It's shocking that nobody died. When they were pushing people into oncoming 18-wheeler traffic, I just got chills all over my body. It was just shocking. It was absolutely dangerous out here. But then the state police came in and they didn't make it any safer, So it was and that was their whole directive. It was kind of laughable.
Yeah. And you also, for those that don't know, were arrested and kept in a cell for hours for the crime of asking cops about the roadblocks. Others were arrested. I spoke with Chuck Modi earlier. He was in a Newark cell for 26 hours for nothing. 40 or 50 protesters were arrested, and the things they told me about that prison there. Listen, prison's not pleasant wherever it is, but
it was higher. I heard it was like 60 or 70.
Yeah, 60 or 70.
Wrong, yeah.
And that's just not really the way to handle things, in my opinion. If you want to create a curfew, you create a curfew, but unless people are being violent, which I was there, I didn't see any violence. Throwing people in jail, you're kind of just playing into the hand of ICE.
And that was the whole pretext from the governor and the attorney general, right? They were putting out false statements about that we were throwing gas at them, that we were shooting fireworks at them, that we were initiating these engagements, and we weren't. It was the feds. It was the state police. And then they come out there and just lie to the people. How are they any better than the frickin' MAGA Republican politicians out there just lying to our faces if they're going to come out there and just make stuff up as a pretext to brutalize the people? That's crazy.
And right now you see some type of vehicle, I don't know, it's probably Geo Group or ICE, and they've basically sealed this off so that you can't get anywhere near this.
So what we were doing out here before is we were trying to slow down their operations, and people were linking arm in arm to block the vehicles from getting out. So what they've done here is they've created First Amendment zones with concrete barriers so that the vehicles can go in and out, and the people are not allowed to, try and inhibit ICE's operations.
So,
right?
Just like Broadview, just like...
Yeah, yep, exactly.
And just so I know, if this is a First Amendment zone, what's over here? Exactly. Like China? Exactly. Well, yeah. you gotta wonder the zones. What's over there? It's just dystopian weirdness. Obviously, I've been talking to organizers. Some of the young people have been released. That's a good thing.
Wasn't all of them?
No, not all of them. No, some of them. I've also been hearing that there's some movement on getting some of the sickest people out of there. So I think a lot of people, and you've seen it, I'm sure you've felt it, sometimes you just we're all humans, you're like, what? These protests aren't doing anything, right? Yeah. I think these protests have had a real effect already.
I was having a moment over there on my live earlier of are you going to say protests don't do anything? That's crazy. And, a big thing that we were talking about earlier is when they were pushing us back, the people inside couldn't hear us, and we came here to support in solidarity with the people inside. And at least now they can hear us, like I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Like a week ago when I was here and they were flashing the lights inside,
a word of caution to
like,
viewers,
hey,
it will take some time to count all these ballots, especially because so many ballots are expected to be returned today.
Traditionally, you're thinking about the candidate you like the most or policies.
Really that powerful to be back here, I'm like anxiously awaiting some light flashes from inside.
And I'd love your thoughts too. I think it's striking that the media, when shit was crazy, literally a lot of journalists were sitting in their cars. And now that shit's a little less crazy, I'm looking for you, CNN. I'm looking for you, MS Now, Fox, New York Times. It just seems like if shit's on fire, they're here in their cars.
And they can feed into their narrative because they're not really telling the real stories of what's happening here. And so it's just like, oh, we can get footage of chaos and like sort of mislead the people about what's really happening. Like it's been overwhelmingly peaceful out here. You had, I think it's Jess Craven that do a video the other night of talking to a woman, and it's like, she's like, yeah, it was overwhelmingly peaceful. I have video of what was happening 10 minutes before the police attacked us, but then the mainstream media is out here and you just see clips of things and it's like, oh, look, violence and chaos in the streets. And it's like, it's just people protesting and we're not the ones creating the violence and the chaos,
And, something I think is really disgusting. The FBI and Homeland Security raided the mutual aid tent. They just ransacked the thing. It wasn't even involved with the protest.
It wasn't even part of this. It was just for the families of people coming to visit. That's crazy. They're coming from out of state. Another thing is earlier today, the Geo Group was allowing visitors, and there were people down when this blockade was still up, and there were families coming from out of state to visit. And the police, the communication was so poor that the police weren't letting the families in, even though they were allowed to be here. And thankfully, somebody reasonably talked to one of the cops for long enough and got them to go up the chain and find out, oh, they actually are allowed through. And then they escorted the families in, but 4 families had already come to visit their loved ones and had already left because there was no communication between the different departments enforcing this chaos.
I think something important to bring up. By the way, folks, smash the like button, share the live stream, comment, support us if you can. Statuscoup.com/join. I will beg if I have to keep us out here. You served in the military. You know the military-industrial complex. I think a lot of people don't realize that these Democratic governors are providing a lot of lip service. Oh yeah. Because I learned the other day that 15 minutes before the state troopers stormed the gates down here and started just declaring war on protesters, one of the lead organizers got a call from the state attorney general's office saying, hey, just so you know, don't be alarmed, but state police are going to come here because ICE has a shift change. So they were clearly coordinating with ICE. I mean, as the state police were they fired flashbangs right at our feet. Yeah. I fell backwards. Tear gassing, pepper balls, pepper spray. ICE was in sniper position up there, and the state knew about it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you that was talking to me about that. I was talking about that to somebody the other night of like, oh, that's interesting. That happened right at the moment. When
do something that they're saying.
Who I voted for governor? Yeah. I want to keep California blue. That's what I want to do.
You're not going to say which one?
I'm not going to say which one because I don't really feel like... I feel like we're backed into a corner in who we choose.
So you don't love any of the options?
Not really.
Javier Becerra has been in elected office for 3 decades. The Sacramento native served as state attorney general, moved on to the state assembly, and of course, 12 terms in Congress. Most recently, part of President Biden's cabinet where he served as health secretary. But now Mr. Becerra finds himself in a hotly contested race for California governor.
Protect ICE. Again, they can say as much as they want until they're long in the tooth that they're here to protect us, but they're not. They're here to protect ICE.
I'd like your thoughts. I mean, obviously, the reasons you served, you probably did not realize serving that this is what was behind the curtain. But do you feel it just seems like a lot of people I'm talking to they're either explicitly saying it or kind of saying it like we need a goddamn revolution in this country between hostage taking, the surveillance state, the data center imperialism, joblessness. inflation just seems to be permanent. And you basically have oligarchs saying, yeah, we're just going to have a new social contract, Yeah, people might lose jobs, but it's for the greater good. I just feel like, yes, it's about ICE and the immigrants, but this is all kind of connecting with a lot of other injustices.
100%, just from, disciplinary, that's even not the right word, or legal of these concentration camps that are being built and the things that they've said in Project 2025, dissenters are next, and it's also, it is as you're saying, it's tied into the billionaires, it's tied into the politics and how the money is allowed into politics, and the people are increasingly losing their voice to where it's does voting even matter? Especially if we're having these sort of limp noodle Democratic governors that aren't going to, actually stand for anything. If they're just going to cave every time when MAGA or fascism asks them to, then what do they really stand for? So people, it seems to me like the country is standing around waiting for an election, and it's this election's not going to save us. Even if we won the election, this regime has been openly talking about how they're going to retain power. So why should we expect that they're just going to hand over power when they've taken total power, when they're so scared about losing the elections, and they've shown multiple times that they're willing to overthrow an election, they're willing to steal an election, and they're willing to do it by force. And now they have total power, and we're supposed to believe that, they're just going to hand it over? So it's election, I don't know that that's going to, if we elected in radicals, what they call radicals, which is really just people on the left, but the line has been shifting so much to where the what is the left is now called the middle, and if you're called a radical if you're just asking for human rights.
Well, I don't hear a lot of the media talking about the fact that Donald Trump's basically building a bunker under that ballroom.
Right.
There's military equipment, and it's he's building a mini data center under the bunker, under the ballroom.
Every data point that we get suggests they don't have no intention of relinquishing power, but then we're supposed to just stand around and wait for an election. That's been actually, I was pretty depressed for the last 2 months before I was coming back here, because it's boy, I don't think that people are ready to do what's necessary. People have to be willing to risk something, and it just seems like people are more intent on the comfort of their daily lives and maintaining that than they are maintaining the fundamentals that allow us to be free. We're actively losing our freedom, and it seems like people are as long as it doesn't affect me that much, it's going to.
I also think there's important things to point out. Let's call a spade a spade. Trump is a unique evil, and I would like to remove him and his sycophants. But I also think we should point out that, under Democrats, Obama deported more immigrants than any president before him.
Right.
I just learned this the other day, but under the Biden administration, the ICE prison down the road 15 minutes away, the Elizabeth ICE prison, right, the contract was up, and the Biden administration stepped in to keep that open.
Right. It's as if the Democrats want the corporations to have the power, and the Republicans want the billionaires to have the power. Right. Either way, the people lose.
You got white supremacist fascism or corporate fascism.
Right, exactly.
And I know there's people in the chat. All right, Jordan, but we got to get rid of Trump. Okay, I'm not saying don't get rid of Trump, but it matters who you get rid of him with. I don't know. My wife doesn't really allow me these days, but when I have Coke, I don't want Diet Coke. I want the real thing. So you don't want MAGA Light. Right. You would just go to MAGA if you have the option. And I just think, let me tell you, the last few nights out on this street, and I see on social media what the state police did here. If you ask people who they dislike more, Mikey Sherrill, Donald Trump, the answer was Mikey Sherrill. Yeah. They dislike both, but you get my point. So I just think this was not, their response to this was not at all to de-escalate it. And I think that at the end of the day, there's two things can be attached at the hip. The right thing and the smart politically thing. If Mikey Sherrill would have stood up to Donald Trump, right, if she would have come out here and the other politicians stood with the protesters and said, no, you're not going to throw my people into traffic, which would have gotten a ton of media attention, by the way, you're going to inspire people to vote for you, too.
Right.
And
she's a one-term mayor, or governor.
One-term.
Yeah, that's, you can't do shit like that and have the people stay behind you. I have no doubt that she will not be winning the re-election.
My last question for you, you're a veteran. Like, what's your message to other veterans? Because we see there's veterans, Jolly Good Ginger and a couple others that are very influential on Instagram. We see more veterans getting involved, developing kind of audiences, this and that. But what's your message to other veterans? Because obviously, PTSD and addiction, and you got your own things to deal with. But, I mean, at this point, I remember Standing Rock.
Change is to have a governor.
This shit was going on at Standing Rock.
Which, again, by the way, we haven't seen for 16 years, and it's been 20 years since California has elected a governor who's Republican.
It's interesting, you've mentioned this twice already today that he's spoken, and your comments seem to imply that he is still campaigning very hard, even with 45 minutes left before these polls close. How do you expect the rest of the night to play out tonight at this watch party?
You know, it's interesting. He actually was addressing just that earlier. He says they're pretending or really living out like they're in third place because they're not taking anything for granted. They don't want to assume they're coming in second or first. They are working, they said, up until the last minute to try to appeal to voters and send out that message again. His main thing is making California affordable, but they are running a campaign, they said, in third place to really work themselves and show that they want to earn every single vote.
All right, Rachel Aragon with the very latest out of Huntington Beach tonight. Rachel, appreciate it. Joining us here in studio for some more insight on the gubernatorial race, we do have KTVU political analyst Brian Sobel, as well as Melissa Michelson, the Dean of Arts and Sciences and Professor of Political Science at Menlo College. I'll begin with you, Professor. At the end of the day, maybe not tonight. It could be later this.
Like, we need to be out here. We need to be doing these things. And, if we were willing to die for that nation, for the things that at least we thought it stood for, that maybe we've never actually lived up for. Well, if we actually want this nation to be what it's always said it's going to be but has never been, then we have to stand up as a people and resist that. And I don't think it's healthy, the relationship that we have, as how much we idolize the military. I really think that's unhealthy for our entire society, but it does give you a little bit of cachet in speaking in these situations, and people do sort of hear some things in a different way. That's the way how I'm able to get under the ICE agents and the cops' skin a lot of times, and that's why they're targeting me with all these rounds, is because it's like I actually do have some ground to stand on. And
I saw when you were scolding them a couple nights ago, I saw some of the ICE agents definitely were thinking about their life choices. I'll put it that way.
Ran up behind me and hit me with the pepper spray.
My last question can't go without asking. We have George Floyd on your shirt. Please, I can't breathe. Tell me about, I know what the shirt stands for, but do you feel there's a connection to that and what we're seeing here?
Oh, it's all connected, right? I mean, it's state-sanctioned violence, right? It's been happening to black people in this country for over 400 years. There was a guy standing actually right over there in the green helmet. And last night he was arrested.
In second and third, but I've talked about this a lot. I think in the post-analysis, the post-election analysis, we will see whether $200 million or more of ads from one candidate either got the job done or turned people off.
Let me ask you this. You said, Becerra expected to be one of the two. If that's the case, does his campaign have a problem? Because just a few months ago, he wasn't even on the stage at the debate at USC, which never actually happened because he was polling so low. And you mentioned the Swalwell dropout.
Yep.
I understand that, but why wasn't he gaining
traction? It's just a different name, a different dressing for the same thing, which is privatized prisons that actually function as slavery.
Thanks, Ben.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it as always. Ian Austin, been out here every day, and he's got the marks to prove it. So as you can see, it's obviously calmer than it was. It's preferable than protesters being pushed into moving trucks, but it's also obviously, they've basically packed protesters into a little pen, which is not what free speech is about. So you could call it a win that there's less violence, but this is not uninhabited, full-fledged free speech in America. They're stopping people from performing civil disobedience. So this is not acceptable, in my opinion, to what the goal of this was. If I can, Minneapolis, I want to bring you back on. People might have not seen, we had a stream earlier, people might not have seen it, so I wanted to bring you back on. Emily, right? Yeah. So you came from Minneapolis. You were kind of one of those brave people in Minneapolis that were with the whistles and in the kind of chats trying to basically do the job of politicians and police. So alert your neighbors if ICE was coming, protect each other. As there was a full-on federal invasion of Minneapolis, ICE fucked with you there, Border Patrol, and you guys are still, I mean, you told me earlier, they're still there. It might be a little less wild, wild west, but they're still abducting people. It's just a little bit more polished, I guess you could say. But we were talking earlier, and you told me being out here, it's like bringing you back to what happened there a couple months ago.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's hard not to relate the two. Obviously, there are differences. One of them that I keep telling people is that in Minneapolis, we were and still are trying to prevent people from ending up at places like this, whereas now we are standing in front of a place where hundreds of people are currently detained under inhumane conditions, and they are on hunger strike and labor strike still, so we are out here in solidarity with them. This is not necessarily an anti-ICE protest, although it is. It is a solidarity protest with the people inside that building, and we are trying to amplify their demands, which are hard to remember off the top of my head. I have a horrible memory, I'm sorry, but it's freeing the
They want a meeting immediately with Governor Sherrill. They want the vulnerable and the sickest, which are a lot, released. The young people released. I mean, they want it shut down. They want to be freed, yeah.
Of course. But yeah, they have some specific demands, like freeing the elderly and the sick, and meeting with the governor, all of those things. But ultimately, the goal needs to be for all of us to end these places, because this is absolutely a fascist state, and it's just going to continue growing. This is what they want to see all over the country. This isn't just something that's going to happen here. They have a lot more of these planned, and we're paying 10 times, as taxpayers, we're paying 10 times the asking price on a lot of them to make...
Let me give you the exact number. There's been reports that they want to buy 800 warehouses for ICE warehouses, which, by the way, there's not enough undocumented immigrants in the country to fill 800 warehouses. Like, what are you going to make Amazon packages out of hostages? So they're not going to stop with immigrants. If they get 800 warehouses, they're going to come for the environmental protesters and Antifa and...
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we saw how they came for the Righteous 39 that we had in Minnesota. You just had Ian Austin on. He's one of them. They were arrested protesting. Did you know that? Yeah, okay. I was
at the church.
Pretty sure you know who he was, but...
That was the one where the media only cared about Don Lemon, but there was a whole lot of other people.
Yeah. I mean, Nikema Levy-Armstrong, Monique Cullors-Doty, Will the woke farmer, who they actually put his name in the indictment. All of this is insanity. They came for...
The woke farmer actually just had a 3-day trial in D.C. for calling Trump supporters Nazis in front of the White House. We're putting people on trial in America for calling Trump supporters Nazis.
Yeah, so I mean, the Righteous 39 were already persecuted for that. They're still being persecuted for that. We're seeing it with the people in the Prairie Land case, how they're actually in jail over it. One person for distributing zines, right? So this is absolute insanity. I talked to someone the other day who told me that they have already gotten a visit from the FBI because of, or maybe it was Homeland Security, from the feds. They got a visit from the feds over a Facebook post. Just saying that this is wrong and we need to abolish ICE.
I think we did a video last week, was it? That woman in Texas that got arrested for posting on social media something against the data centers. I mean, this is beyond 1984 or what?
These things never happened. They can't produce proof of any of this ever happening because it didn't happen. I can sit here and make a bunch of shit up too. This never happened. there's no proof of it, they are lying.
Neighborhood looking for ICE. When you're distributing mutual aid, even that, we've had ICE agents target and tell them that they're impeding for just delivering food. When you're doing these things, you are raising your risk level, but you're only raising it to the risk level of the people you're trying to protect. And these people are already suffering under these conditions. And so we need to be willing to raise our risk levels to meet our neighbors, because that's what solidarity is. It's being willing to put yourself at risk for your neighbor, and at least the same amount of risk they're already in, because we can't let them target people and sit things out because we feel like we're in danger. And that's something that unfortunately is something that keeps coming up in leftist movements, is people don't want, they want to be for something, their hearts are for something. When it comes to actually taking the action, they are too scared to do it. But you have to remember that the people that we're fighting for are already living in fear, the same fear that you are afraid of feeling. And so please recognize that in your heart and come out to support them in whatever way you are able to. I'm not saying you have to be the one at the front of the protest.
What?
In the bullhorn. I'll do it for you.
You're going to be in the front of the protest?
Armies all over, you know. But maybe you know how to enter data. Maybe you know how to recognize patterns. Maybe you are able to put together flyers or media. Do what you can for the movement, and don't worry about what the consequences are for you, because if you've criticized the regime at all, you're already on their list.
You know, my last question for you, and I think this is so fucking important, and honestly, it makes me want to fucking scream. All this bullshit and hysteria about the Somali fraud in Minneapolis and those goddamn fraudsters in Somalia. Let me tell you, you want to know about fraud? Look in here. This is such a scam, what's going on in here. It makes the dime a dozen fraud that goes on in America all over the country, and particularly at the White House. This company, Geo Group, made $254 million last year of profit, okay? They are $254 million.
He's like, the Somali fraud, that's totally true, but these guys also
green sausage patties.
It's not that they can't afford it; it's that they don't view these people as human beings.
They won't send the people who have kidney failure in there, or colon disease, or a loved one told me their husband walked in with type 2 diabetes. A month later, he's got type 1 in there. His blood sugar is dropping rapidly. They won't send him to the hospital because they don't want to pay. Even worse, they're making loved ones, working class loved ones, the breadwinners of their family are locked up in here, so they're struggling. They're making some of these women, these spouses, pay nearly $200 a week to put into the commissary so that they could get on the phone with their loved one. That's not fraud? I mean, to me, this is
having clean water so that they have to buy water that doesn't make them sick in a place that they're forced.
I also heard that
that's fraud.
They poke their eyes out in the middle of the night with
needles. Not being allowed to
buy
other food
when
they're refusing the food that they're being served. That's fraud too. You're forcing them into one kind of way and not allowing them to do any of that. And you are defrauding them of all of these different things that, with taxpayer money, because you can afford to feed them better meals. You can afford to meet their demands. And if you choose not to as a company, there is no reason to take away the ability to buy other food other than just cruelty. And then on the Minnesota fraud, like we ended up seeing, I mean, like we knew all along, but the woman that ran it, the white woman that ran it, was just convicted. And people don't want to talk about that. They want to point to all the Somali people and say it's them. And you know what? I'm not saying that there is.
I love this. Wait, so there was a ton of Somali fraud, but it was actually a white person's fault.
You can't judge an entire race of people based on what a few people are doing.
I'm going to go with what's the bigger fraud, in the Somali community or Donald Trump's son getting a $600 million Pentagon loan that he's not going to pay back, or Donald Trump, his net worth going to $6.5 billion because of his crypto scams, or Donald Trump doing weird, corrupt pay-for-play pardons, pardoning every convicted fraudster.
Wow.
So, yeah, maybe there's some people who
cut some corners or did some fraud in the Somali community. Guess what? A lot of fraud in the white community, the black community, the brown community.
It's mostly the whites, yeah, they did it.
Really, the twists and turns of this mayor's race. Certainly, there's a lot of emotion out of the Palisades and Eaton fire. There's a lot of really hotly contested issues with immigration and homelessness. What do you think has driven so many twists and turns?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's been a lot that's been happening in Los Angeles, and we know that there are a number of wedge issues that the Republican Party tends to use. Immigration is certainly one, and also the sort of reactions around the fires. At the same time, you know, Mayor Bass has an established record of success. And, you know, we certainly saw her strong opposition to the ICE raids that took place in June. So there was leadership there. On the other hand, immigration has certainly been a wedge issue that we've seen come up time and time again on the right.
You know, the mayor of San Francisco, no political experience. He was voted in. Is that an issue in Los Angeles when it comes to this specific race, that Spencer Pratt has no political experience, Luis?
Well, you know, when we had Richard Riordan, who got elected mayor of Los Angeles, you know, at least he was CEO of a large corporation and had thousands of people that worked for him. But there's a great difference. Just because you don't have experience doesn't mean you can't lead. Right. You know, with Pratt, there's serious questions to be raised with regards. Do the people just want to vote for him because they want to send the bull into the china shop and want to see things blown up so they can be reconstructed? You know, we already saw how that's working out in other elected positions, and I think you know, that's what we're looking at. People who really take the election serious and want leadership. You know, we have some people with you know, the extreme progressives who feel that Mayor Bass has not been true to her oath in making things happen and fixing the problems such as there is the homelessness in downtown LA, and that's why the three candidates are actually doing very well.
Yeah, and certainly as we head into the next phase of this, certainly we'll see that conversation continue. We are out of time, have to leave it there for now, but certainly this conversation continues as certainly we head towards November. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate this conversation.
All right, polls close at the top of the hour. Still to come, we're also taking a look at some of the more notable congressional races in the state.
Please, what is actual living, breathing journalism worth to you? CNN's not here, folks. MS, whatever it is not here. Fox News, I promise you, is not here. Okay? New York Times, Washington Post, they're too busy farting out Trump's tweets. Okay? We're here. We've been here. We were in Los Angeles when Trump invaded with the National Guard. We were there for 2 weeks. We've been in New York City at the federal courthouse. In Jersey. We've been at Delaney Hall long before the hunger strike. We were down in Florida, Alligator Alcatraz, that concentration camp where they're putting prisoners out literally into the scorching hot heat, handcuffed to the ground with no water for hours, what they called the box. Okay, we were in Charlotte where John was illegally threatened with arrest by Border Patrol. JT and John were in Chicago for 2 months. 2 months. We were in Minneapolis for 2 months before Renee Good was assassinated, before Alex Pretty was assassinated, okay? And we do this with no funding from Geo Group, from no funding from United Healthcare and Goldman Sachs and the Living Koch brother and all the rest of them. And it's hard to do this without real money, folks, trust me. Most of our conversations are about how long are we going to be able to keep the lights on. It's very frustrating. And it's very frustrating when you're out here doing real, we think, real important work, and you see other channels and they go viral. It's not that we're jealous. I don't give a fuck what other people do. But these are the stories that matter, and we have big tech platforms that deliberately suppress them. So please support us. Statuscoup.com/join. Can I talk to you, man? So this is doing a lot of moving over there. Oh yeah, Newark Police Chairman Africa from the Black Panther Party, and I want people to know these ICE people, they weren't so brave a few months ago when you were in the street. They had caused a car crash right around school. Yes. Very dangerous. Yes. And you basically said, it wouldn't be so tough when I bring my guns. Exactly. Tell people about, because ICE has been
escalating here even before this.
Yes, but they're all around the country escalating. They're everywhere. But the incident you were just talking about a few months ago, when there was snowing, there was a snowstorm, there was still snow on the ground, and they were chasing somebody on the streets early in the morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was going to school. So they crashed into a car with a mother and 2 kids in the back on their way to school. So everybody started coming out. So we walked out like, what's going on? What's going on? So somebody said it's ice. So the entire community just swarmed around them. I mean, like, they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. There wasn't that many of them. And the community was there, like, really ready to get physical with them. And that's the only thing that they're afraid of. They're not afraid of nothing else. The only thing they're afraid of is the people. When the people are ready to stand up and they see that the people have had enough, they're going to back up. And that's why this is so important. I don't mean to segue away, but the reason I've been texting Jordan. I've been texting him for a few days now, trying to catch up with him, because I wanted to say something to him. I'm about to shoot you a free commercial. I'm about to shoot him a free commercial. Hey, look, when you start working for the people, serving the people, you make enemies with everybody. You make enemies with the police. You make enemies with the politicians. You make enemies with the media that needs to be in close proximity with the state, with the people in power, so they all isolate you. When you see people like Jordan, when you see a media outlet like this, because I don't know no other anywhere out here. I don't know any other media out here that's going into these communities and is reporting on this and putting in this much time and effort. Without that outlet for us to be able to get our message out, nothing will ever be solved. If these people didn't come out here and we're out here protesting and demanding accountability, the people that they let out, they would have never let out. If you was never here, like you said something, because I've been watching from home, and you said something earlier. You said, or somebody else said that somebody could have got hurt. You're surprised that somebody didn't die. That night, Cam Higby's security, they had guns on them. When they were throwing them bottles on them, what was stopping them from pulling out and just popping somebody? They would have been justified. They would have walked. Yo, somebody threw a bottle at his head. Yo, I was surprised. So if you watch it, if you out there, yo, I congratulate you for being so disciplined and not being a savage and just taking a life because you can. Because I got into it with them earlier, and it was that close. Yo, because if you go back and watch the video, because you got it on your stuff, you recorded it. If you go and watch the video, go on Status Quo and go watch Cam Higby running and is secure with his guards. Yo, he grabbed his gun. He got up on it. They threw a bottle in his face. He grabbed his gun. He was about to shoot. Then everything would have been different. Everybody would have been singing a different tune. Like, look, because you reported, Ras Barack is coming out and singing a different tune. Look at the police. Look how they're standing there now. But first, they were getting ready to say the people were rowdy, the people were violent, but your video was out there. Yep. So they couldn't contradict that. They couldn't contradict what everybody is singing. Yo, he went on Ali Veshi, the mayor. He went on Ali Veshi the next day. Ali Veshi didn't want to hear that shit. Ali Veshi was like, look, man, I'm corporate media. I'm a big-time corporate media, and your police kicked me out of there. I've seen it for myself. I'm not up here to hear that. After that, everything started crumbling. They had to change up their story. Why they couldn't have did this before?
And by the way, my John told me there was a flyer going around that there was going to be a protest outside Baraka's house tomorrow, and all of a sudden they end the curfew tonight.
They end the curfew.
So the pressure is working.
No, the pressure does work, and that's why they brought the police out. They brought all that force. Yo, we seen them. Yo, and I'm telling you, if you don't win an award for what you captured out here, then I already think it's bullshit anyway. I think all these awards is trash. They're owned by corporations. So if they give you an award, I may not trust you no more. But
they're not giving us an award.
No, but that's what you win an award for. That's because if that stuff is not on video, everything else that happened after that wouldn't have happened. They would still be on TV lying. Because like people say Democrats and Republicans are different. You saw the Republican, you saw the Democrats on TV after it happened, lying, saying that the people were violent. That's why they had to come in and bring order. Like, wow, we saw it on video. And it started going around social media. Everybody started seeing it. Yo, I was working for you. I was taking pictures, and I put it on my story, and then I put your what you call it? What the hell they call it? Your link. Yeah, I put your link on it, so they'll click on it and go straight to the show. Because what you are doing is a service that, yo, whatever $5 you're telling people to send in, yo, no amount of money is worth what you're doing. Now, why is that all important?
And I want to point something out, and this isn't to like brag about us, but I don't think people realize. For several nights, while ICE was pushing people into oncoming traffic, which people could die, there's 18-wheel trucks coming, we saw other journalists sitting in their cars.
Yes.
They literally were sitting in their cars while the people were under attack, and then came out. I literally saw the CNN reporter sitting in his car while all this is happening, and then he comes out to do a report on CNN and pretend that he was just out here covering the whole thing. It's crazy.
Thank you for reminding me. What is his name? Oh my
Shimon something.
No, there's somebody on WBAI. He's an older white guy, Bob Henley, on WBAI. That's supposed to be the progressive station in our area. Yo, he went on Amy Goodman and said that the protesters, he tried to separate the protesters from the people that have the tents. And he was saying the protesters that came out started to act rowdy, and that's why the police had to come out. But these are the people that support the people in power. When we're dealing with issues in the community, we have no voice because they use the media outlets to protect these people. I want to say something before I leave, because that's why I really wanted to come see you. Yo, everybody's wondering, what do we do? Everybody's thinking like, do we give up? If you're not going to read, because I can tell you the books to read and they're going to tell you what to do. You could read Frantz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth. You could read George Jackson. You could read Huey P. Newton, Fred Hampton. You could read Malcolm X. They're going to tell you what we must do is organize. We must organize as people to be able to build institutions that's going to protect us. Yo, we all saw what the state would do. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican. We saw what they are willing to do to us. These people are about to go to war. They're about to start bombing each other. Yo, AI is coming. What are we prepared to do to take care of us? Yo, the government, we see the government doesn't care about us. Yo, we have no rights. The people, the masses of the people, not the 1%, the people that are living day to day trying to survive. We, not black people, the people have no power. These politicians are bound to respect. They don't respect us at all. And until we start to come together, to organize together, we can defeat them. How do we do that? Today when I was calling, when I was looking for you, we was delivering food. We going around we have meetings. Yo, 90% of activism is meetings. Coming together, sitting down, talking. You could be on Zoom. You could be in California. You could be anywhere. Sitting down, strategically figuring out how we're going to pool our resources. It can be done. We can build schools. We have after-school programs right here in Newark. Yo, I have no money. I don't work for the government. I don't have no plantation owner. But we're out here giving the resources. Yo, we do housing. We do childcare because all the people are coming together to do it. We all have jobs. We're all working on the plantation. But we understand we have to build institutions outside the plantation to survive. Because these schools, yo, you know what grade level the schools are teaching reading? Yo, 2% reading, 4% math. Where is that child going? This is the failure they've had since I was a kid. And next year they're going to fail. No matter who you vote for in November, no matter who you vote for the last election, the schools are still going to fail. Rent is not coming down. Gas is not coming down. Food is not coming down. Everything is constantly going up. And no politician, I need somebody to name one. Put it in the group chat. Name a politician that's telling you, when I get into office, I'm bringing your rent down. I'm bringing your mortgage down. I'm bringing the cost of food down. They don't even promise shit no more. They just say, hire me. I'm better than the other guy. They become millionaires. We lose our homes. Yo, we paying $2,500 for rent in the hood. I'm going to say that again, bro. We paying $2,500 for rent in the hood. That's a mortgage. But the way they got the deck fixed, we can't afford to get a house. Right. So now we're stuck paying these people money. Yo, everything we're dealing with is punitive. From City Hall, from the school board, because people say like local elections, do local politics. Yo, from the school board down, it's controlled by the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. They have their people there to sign off on the contracts they want to give to corporations. Yo, I've been doing this for 20 years. I worked at City Hall. I worked for the mayor. I understand how all of this works. And once my eyes were open, I couldn't do it no more. I mean, but most people, they got to pay bills, so they're like, yo, they start to lie. You can't talk to these people. And it's a lot of them here. Everybody in these green jackets, most of these people you see here work for the mayor. Yo, when I was walking up, they were calling like, yeah, Africa's walking in. What the fuck you calling for? What the fuck is Africa coming to do? I mean, I'm here with my daughter. What the fuck, like, but why are you calling? Yo, they came to my house with machine guns because the tow truck companies are towing people cars, and we outside like, no, you won't tow the car. This is how punitive it is getting. They're towing people cars and they're charging them $300 for them to put your car back down. What the that and it's illegal. There's paperwork that's saying what didn't, but there's nobody holding them accountable. Like if you wasn't, I'm gonna go back again. If you wasn't here, there was gonna be nobody, there was gonna be nothing anybody to do to hold them accountable for what they did out here, because they committed crimes. They broke the law out here. And if we have a First Amendment right to assemble for free speech, how can you put a curfew to that? So all of it makes absolutely no sense. But if there's nobody recording, if there are not people out there fighting, if they, hey, yo, come here, bro, come here. I've been watching you too on here. I've been watching you the whole time. I mean, I like to shake your hand for being out here, man. But if they're not people like him, good people that's willing to come out and fight, then we're lost. Because I used to think to myself, yo, how long are people going to go before they understood that they don't need to be ruled by these people with all this money? How long people gonna, because I'm thinking like, okay, the 18, 19, 1700s, 1600s, we're in 2026. Then now they talk about AI. So now AI is about to get rid of human beings. They're about to remove us. They don't need us to work no more. So human beings are never going to raise up. We're never going to fight back against the machine. We're going to just stay until we're replaced. That is sad. And I have dedicated my life to refusing to be one of those people. That's why we build these organizations and build these institutions. I'm telling you, yo, I want to be part of status quo. If I want to buy stock, you're laughing. But every organizer, every revolutionary, that's what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to buy stock in it. Yo, the first night I saw you on here, I text you. You need anything? You fucking ignore me. I'm gonna bring you food. My wife made oxtails. Now you're laughing. Like when you come.
I didn't ignore you, promise.
No. You was working, goddammit. You was fucking ducking bullets and shit. No, but it's like when you come in these communities.
I was actually ducking a horse too.
Exactly.
A horse.
Yeah, the horse just hit me. I seen this shit. It's like when you come in these communities, yo, I'm telling everybody, there should be places for them to stay. This is when we're talking about a revolution. If you want to change everything, wherever they go next, it should be a place to stay. It should be people bringing them food. I mean, all of this show the people in power that we have power, but we don't have that kind of connection yet, and we need to start building that. And I'm telling you, everybody laugh. Yo, we are willing to invest in what you're doing because we believe in what you're doing.
You know, I'd like to know what you thought, because I've already said, we've already seen that people could mass mobilize in America. There were millions of people in 2020 after George Floyd was basically lynched on video. Millions of people all around the country protested. I always said, imagine if even organized economically.
Exactly.
And not just with their boots on the ground, but took actions against the capitalist state. I feel like people don't realize the power they have because the capitalist state have made you really, really scared to go on strike, to organize, to lose your health care.
What did those people hold on?
Something with that is that the system, we exist in a system where so many people can't strike without starving. And so, you know, I've done a lot of thinking about this because it's like, okay, yeah, what can we do that actually is effective? And the only thing is hitting them financially. Yep. But how do we organize communities enough to where we actually can go on strike enough for it to make a difference? And it's not just, a few people that have the money to do it, but actually, hey, this whole community, when we've set up this whole system where we're sharing resources and we actually can go on strike for a month, 2 months, that's the kind of organization it really takes if we really want to change something.
Those people that were all out there, I'm coming back to what you just said, but those people that were, I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, no, those people in George Floyd. What were they organized to do? Because I'm an activist. You out here, you do this film, you do this new stuff. I can't do what you do. But I've been to all the rallies. I've been to organizing for the last 20 years. Those people are organized by people like those people in the green jackets. Non-profits that work for the government. They bring all those people out to all No King rally, all this goofy shit that has nothing to do with nothing. And they use their energy, they funnel it. They tell them the only solution is going to vote for somebody. So they funnel that energy to get in the George Floyd bill or whatever, and then all of that is for nothing because a few years later I don't forgot, the bill didn't pass, and everybody keep on going. So how do you organize all those people? You got to have media like this. You got to have media like this pushing the propaganda that's going to reach them. Because they know. Most people know, like, voting ain't 8. People don't vote no more. 2% of the people came out and voted in the school election in Newark. 5% voted for the mayor. 5% out of 350,000 people. 5% of the people came out to vote. That's a no contest. Like, no what? No contest. No contest. No something. Like, they don't believe in the government shit. No, some shit.
No confidence.
No confidence. That shit. Yeah, but no confidence. It's a no confidence vote. People, but there's no other option. Nobody's explaining to them, like you just said, putting all this stuff together. Start where you live at. I live in Newark, New Jersey. We have after-school programs. We have summer programs. We have food programs. But it's just us doing it. Another group. You doing it where you at. All of us linking together. This shit ain't gonna happen overnight. These motherfuckers been doing this for since 1 BC. The powerful, those in power been in power since the beginning of time. Even when you go to Africa, everybody think they was in Africa, they were kings. You wasn't a freaking king. You was a peasant. Like, they had the kings in Africa too, and they had everybody else that was poor. It's always been like Karl Marx said. It's a struggle. What you call it? The struggle. I'm forgetting that. I'm getting
class struggle.
Class struggle. It's all the class struggle. The history of the world is that of class struggle. That's what Marx said. And it's always class. So if we do this, we start to work together, we can start to gradually change things. Like, we can build our own schools. Once we accept, like, their schools are not going to teach us anything. We need to build our own schools, and we start to put that foundation together. Then you can start to change things. But if you don't build those institutions, you don't have nothing to fall back on, people won't have memory. In a few months, everybody going to forget what happened here because there ain't no institution to remind them. There ain't no movies. There ain't no propaganda outlets like this to keep people in tune, to remember you, to remember that you was out here. Like in other times, they got all the martyrs, the people that are out there to protest. But if we don't start to write these books, we don't have platforms like this to come speak at, none of that mean anything. Because they're going to write their books. They're going to they're going to get Ali Veshi to tell the story of what happened here.
When are you running for office?
You say what?
When are you running for office?
Why would I?
Never.
No, you would vote for me. But if I went in there, there's nothing I could do for you.
Good point.
Because everything is owned by corporations. I'm going to go in there, I got to do what they tell me. Like, look around, there's no residential area. They said that people were complaining because of all the noise and stuff out here, all the complaints. There's nobody living here. So who was complaining? The corporations. Yeah. No, the corporations. Yeah. The corporations and the businesses were complaining, and that's why they came down here with that force. They didn't come because of the people. Right. They don't give a damn about the people. Right. I mean, but until we start to organize and work like this, we are not changing nothing. Like, people who come over here and talk all that whatever, like, what is it? What's his name that came here? Tall dude. He got all his followers. He came down here. I asked him, so what do we do to... Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker came. So I asked him, Hassan, because everybody was following him. I don't know that motherfucker. This is my first time seeing him. I never seen him on the streets doing anything. I never seen him doing this. So I'm like, yo, Hassan, so what do we do to change all of this? He said, just keep protesting. I'm like, how long we protest for? Until the people that you're protesting against change their mind. I'm like, get your dumb ass out of here. I told them to get out of here. They thinking I'm MAGA, I belong to MAGA. They're like, because I don't like him. But that's how the world is. Everybody's like, they're so socially conditioned to think a certain way. But he don't know anything. He's talking about he's a democratic socialist. That don't even make sense. How can you be a Democrat and a socialist? It's contradictory shit. But people don't know nothing, so they just follow it. That's why the first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. You have to understand what the issues are. And we are in a class struggle. That's what Fred Hampton said. We're in a class struggle, God damn it. I mean, you're going to hear people sounding nationalists, black nationalists, white nationalists. Yo, we are in a class fucking struggle. And in a few years, maybe 15, 20 years, all these people, middle management jobs, you're going to lose all your jobs. They don't need all of us. It may be too late to struggle then, to build the institutions.
And then the people turn on each other to fight for the scraps.
Instead of building the institutions now, so we could be able to fight these savages, because they're sociopaths. There is no negotiating. I read it in C.L.R. James. He wrote about the Haitian Revolution. He said if we don't understand that these people will never keep an oath, keep a promise, that it's us against them, wretched of the earth. Fanon said the last must be first and the first must be last. There's no negotiating with these people. There's no going to go pull a ballot. Like, they got their shit rigged. Everything is rigged. How are you going to run an election if I don't have money? I can't run. How the fuck is that free? If, like, who the fuck told me? Somebody told me that Geo Group is a public company, Ali Velci. I'm like, who the fuck you think you're talking to? If it's public, I should own some of that shit. I don't own none of Geo Group. It's not a public. I'm like, if you're not a billionaire, millionaire, you don't own none of this shit. All of us are out here fighting for scraps. You see, but he's used to talking to people that are not politically educated. And 99% of the people are not. Even all these people that you see with the green jackets, these people working with the city, these police officers, they're not politically educated. They're just doing this shit because they got rent.
And I'll tell you, it's this cycle because the capitalist state, they target poor black people, white people, brown people to serve in the military, to serve in the police, and now to serve with ICE.
Exactly. And they pay them good. Yo, we've been having all this program.
Guys, I'm sorry.
See, yo,
take care, man.
You gonna be here again? Yo, mama, take his number, please. What up? But damn, what was I about to say? What was I about to say?
I don't know what you're about to say. Something profound.
But before I go anyway, there's something they've been saying in the media. All the politicians always say it everywhere you go. I want you to remember this shit, so when they say you could fire back at them. They said it's outsiders coming in to protest. So if there's something going on in New York, I can't go protest? No, I'm saying how far? Right. It's my jurisdiction for me to go protest and stand with the people. Is it my zip code? Is it my town, my state? What is the limits in America for me to protest? None of that shit make any sense at all. So like, how you gonna tell me if somebody gets shot in Montclair, New Jersey, I shouldn't go out to Montclair to go protest with the people? So you gonna call me an outsider? Yo, it makes no sense.
Why does it matter if people from out of state come?
But they say these things because they know they're catchy. The people that are already against what's going on are gonna hold on to it because there's a political fight going on in the city right now. Like, people may wonder, like, how come the city, all black people not out here? Yo, they're telling the black people in the city, the people in position of power, are telling them their problem is because of the immigrants. The reason why their rent is going up, the reason why the food is going up, the reason why there are no jobs is because of immigrants. And these people have no political education. They don't understand, even if all the immigrants left, your life is not getting better. I mean,
by the way, that's the Democrats pretending that they want to shut this place down.
Those are the Democrats pretending they want to shut this place down. That's how nefarious it is. That's how diabolical it is. Like, you think these people are on your side, but there's a Home Depot in Newark. They go there with dogs. Yo, they have black people with dogs chasing the immigrants around. The black immigrants, the Spanish immigrants. I saw a Spanish person last year with the dog. He's chasing other Spanish people. And I looked at him. I'm like, bruh, do you see what you're doing? He was like, it's just my job. That's all they say. It's just my job. Because capitalism has taken our humanity away. Because without that job, he can't have a woman. He can't be a father. He can't pay his rent. So to him, the only thing he could do is go brutalize other people, even dumb. They got to go do all of this for them to pay rent. That's how far they have us. It's like cannibalism. They have us eating each other. And the only thing we can do is start to organize and have meetings. Yo, don't be afraid, because most people don't have a vision. They can't see it. You see, to me, I can see the revolution. I can see it. I can see wherever you go, people have a place for you to stay. I can see everybody joining in to make sure that you're successful. I can see people having political education classes, coming together, pulling their resources together to start to buy buildings and stuff, because they know if they live with somebody, they're going to sell that building and make them homeless later. I can see people doing that. I can see people building their own schools, because I've read, I've studied, and I've seen this shit being done. Who defeated imperialism? Mao. Chairman Mao defeated imperialism. I know they make you think Mao, oh my God, but read Mao. He's going to tell you, if you want to change society, go to where the poorest people are at, in the sand paddies, the people growing the rice paddies. Go to the rice paddies and educate them and teach them how to liberate themselves, and they will liberate themselves. Yo, you can read these people and understand how you got to build all these schools, institutions, but if you don't study them, if you don't study the people that have defeated your enemy, then you can't defeat your enemy. All you're going to do is going to go spinning around, and I don't want nobody to get hurt, but like fighting against the police, against them, or against like running into the building, that's going to do nothing. I mean, until we start, like, yo, if we have places, If we had buildings and resources for the people that they're trying to bring here, they wouldn't have nobody to bring here. But we haven't done that yet in the city. We haven't put those things in place. Until you're able to do that, you're not stopping them from bringing them. They got more guns. They have our children, because we raising our children and we lying to them. Yeah, go be a cop. Go be a politician. Yo, you going to the police academy? Yo, you graduating, everybody's celebrating our own demise, until we get to the point where we understand, like, Tommy, you're not going to the police academy. You're going to be an engineer. You're going to be an electrician. You're going to do something that's going to benefit people, benefit us, instead of going over there to go get a paycheck to oppress people. But we are not there. And if we don't start building those institutions, we are never going to get there. I mean, and like, I wanted to come out here to say all of that because it is important. And I'm going to say it again. Everybody listening, please, please, yo, donate. The $5, whatever. Yo, we haven't gotten it yet, but tomorrow the paycheck coming in, we gonna get our little subscription and stuff. Like, we put our money where our mouth is. So tomorrow when the little paycheck come in, we gonna get I mean, because, yo, we support the work they do. Even the other fellas that were out here, the tall dude, my man that was behind the camera telling them fuck you. Yo, all of you that are behind the scenes, you are as valuable as anybody in history. Because if you don't record it, if you're not here, we don't get it. And I saw your back was fucked up. I'm going to tell you, take some leave. When my back be hitting me, I'll be taking some leave. Like, you out here, I saw you bending down. I mean, like, that's what it takes. You got to be selfless. You got to love the people that much. That's what Che Guevara said. Love. I mean, it got to be love. You got to love the people that much to come out here and do these things. To come out, look at these people out here. It's love for the people. If you don't love the people that much, we can't be successful. And we could bring rent down. We could bring rent down. We could bring the price of food down. If we come together, it will never be done by politicians. But I guarantee you, if we come together, we could bring the rent down. How? We build cooperatives. If we living with each other, if we living in our own properties, in our own homes, in our own buildings that we all own, our freaking rent comes down. I mean, but you got to be willing to open your door and talk to your neighbor. I'm not telling you to come to Newark, New Jersey. Open your door, go outside, talk to your neighbor. What's your neighbor going through? What do they need? How can we work together to be able to make sure one of us have a house that we can both live in? Because that's where we're going. They're going to get rid of all of us unless we start, like all the way back in the day, working with each other. I mean, and I'm so happy to have met Jordan, man. Yo, you my #1 news guy right now, man. Word up, you the news guy of the year, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna stay in touch with you, man. But like, how long you think you're gonna be out here?
We're out here every day.
Until you don't know until when. So if you want, man, send me a text. I'll bring you some oxtails or something, man. I'll bring you some food. You gotta eat my shit though. Don't make me tell my wife to cook the food.
Oh, no. If your wife makes it, I'll eat it. Don't you worry.
All power to the people.
Thank you, man.
I'll come back to and see you tonight. Every night you out here, I'm coming out.
All right.
Yo, thanks a lot.
Thank you. So that's Chairman Africa with the Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party of Newark. And I don't even have follow-up questions because I just like hearing him talk, to be honest. I think he says a lot. He just calls out the bullshit of the entire system. And basically points out that essentially to be a politician means to do nothing. Doesn't mean that all politicians are useless, but he's basically saying, what am I going to run for office?
And live analysis as the biggest stories of the night unfold. This is Election Night Live on Fox Local.
Good evening, everyone. You're watching Election Night Live, the California primary. I'm Maura Tejas.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Christine Devine. The polls just closed across California. It's a critical night for several races, both locally and statewide.
It is a jungle primary, which means from the governor's race to the LA mayoral race, the two candidates with the most votes will advance to the general election in November, regardless of party. There is one important caveat, though, for the LA mayor's race. That is, if a candidate gains more than 50% of the vote, they win outright.
Will that happen? We're live across Los Angeles and California with team coverage on a tense election night.
Fox 11's Andres Gutierrez starts us off from the LA County Registrar as last-minute ballots begin to be counted. The time has come, Andres.
It sure has, Marla, and the first batch of results will be dropping in about 15 minutes. The county officials saying here that this particular year they are tracking to have a higher turnout than the last primary 4 years ago, and that means that many more ballots will be coming through this processing center, the nerve center of this whole operation. At any given time, there are at least 300 employees here, and you could see some of them there in the background processing those ballots. So what exactly are they processing? The county says that this first batch of results will include mail-by-vote ballots that arrived through today's mail, the drop-box ballots that were collected through Monday, and mailed ballots that were dropped off at vote centers through Sunday. Ballots that were cast today at those voting centers still have to be sealed, documented, and transported back to this processing center. And the county does expect to update results about every 35 to 45 minutes overnight. And they do say that more than 100,000 people voted in person today, and the county is also approaching 1 million returned vote by mail ballots. The registrar, Dean Logan, says turnout could land at when it's all said and done, by 34% by certification, which would be above the 2022 governor's primary, but he is warning voters not to mistake speed for accuracy.
In the days ahead, you will likely hear from voices, some big voices, some loud voices, that it's crazy, that maybe it's even stupid that it takes this long for votes to be counted in California. I want to emphasize it's not stupid, it's not crazy, it's actually the law in California. California's laws allow voters the opportunity to vote up until 8 o'clock on election night and to return those ballots in a way that we get them back in a timely manner. And our job is to make sure that every one of those ballots is treated with that same security as the ballots that were received 2 weeks before the election.
And Logan went on to say that about 300 to 400,000 ballots were dropped off today, and those will not be counted tonight. And so some of these very close, razor-thin races may not have final results for days, perhaps even weeks. Marla, Christine?
Yeah, it could be a long time. We'll see. Andres, the polls are closed. We've just said that. If you got into line, though, say at 7:59, are you too late to vote?
Absolutely not. If you were in line, you'll still have a chance to vote. The same goes for those folks who have those ballots at the drop-off box. If there was a long line, perhaps of people in line or cars filing up to go up to that particular drop box, they'll still be able to cast those if they have been in there by that cutoff time.
Election security can be a big question, so tell us what officials are doing behind the scenes to protect everyone's ballot.
Yeah, Christine, this whole process is about transparency. They went in depth talking about that today. The sheriff's office very visible here around this particular facility in the city of Industry. You could see them outside. And then around 10:30, some of those ballots that are coming across from places like Catalina Island, those will be choppered in. And so that will be quite the sight to see later this evening. And ballots from the different polling sites will also be escorted by sheriff deputies to this particular facility. The county says they have also been doing these practice drills with law enforcement, fire officials to make sure that there were no disruptions leading up to today.
That will be quite the sight, choppered in from 26 miles across the sea at Catalina Island. All right, Andres Gutierrez will be checking in with you throughout our coverage tonight. Thank you. Incumbent L.A. Mayor Karen Bass is battling to fend off a strong challenge from former reality TV star Spencer Pratt. A new poll shows L.A. City Council member Nithya Raman in third place. It's all close. Fox 11's Nick Garcia is covering the Los Angeles mayor's race. Nick?
Hey there, Christine, Marla. Yes, the party has started and the public has been allowed in. Mayor Bass not here quite yet. Now, those polls have closed, as you mentioned, as we see people filing in here. We expect at least a couple hundred people here. Mayor Bass's team feeling quite confident, though, and to talk about that, we're going to speak with Stuart Waldman of the Valley Industry and Commerce Association. So how are you feeling? Polls just closed.
Feel really excited, feel confident. I think the voters
voters know what she's done. Crime is low. She's moved the needle on homelessness. As a representative of the business community, she's been there for us, helping business, trying to do the right thing. She was the best candidate, and when you look at the field, we're excited and we feel pretty good about it.
We've seen so much of the talk be her really reaching out to business owners. One of the issues a lot of business owners are dealing with is burglaries, break-ins, specifically in the Valley. How do you feel about her messaging on that?
Well, I think she's worked with LAPD and to get out there and to police the businesses, to help get the homeless off the street. Most of the crime that businesses are facing are from homeless who are congregating around their businesses, trying to break in to find something of value in the evening. So just having a patrol car come around really makes a difference. And she has made public safety one of her top priorities, and we appreciate that.
Stuart, definitely, all eyes, not just in the city and the state, really in the country on this race, particularly because of the entrance of Spencer Pratt. Are you expecting the two of them, the mayor and Spencer, to be heading to a runoff?
I think it's likely. It seems that Spencer Pratt has a little momentum. It seems that Nithya Rahman has not really taken hold. Spencer's an interesting character. I used to watch him on reality TV. I think there's a lot there that hasn't been put out, and so if he's in the runoff, I think it'll be an easy win for the mayor.
Have you spoken with the mayor at all today?
I haven't spoken to her in a couple days, but she's feeling good.
Last you spoke with her, she was feeling confident.
Yes, yeah. It's she's done a good job, and when you look at the everything that's come our way from the administration in D.C. to tariffs to ICE to everything, she's really stood up to the challenge.
All right, Stuart, thank you for speaking with us about that. And really, the campaign saying that as well. The mayor leaning into, as Stuart just mentioned there, some of the federal pushback, how she's handled the ICE raids. She's definitely viewing that as a favorable on her side, and then pointing to those specific numbers on homelessness, on crime coming down. So she's hoping voters will give her 4 more years. Live in Koreatown, I'm Nick Garcia. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Nick, so the gentleman you just spoke to there talked about a possible runoff with Spencer Pratt. Anyone you talk about a runoff with Nithya Rahman. She's been gaining in the polls.
I haven't heard anybody too concerned about that being the runoff. Certainly, they're hoping that the mayor could somehow pull off the election tonight, but I think that they know that that is not likely. It will probably be a runoff, and they're expecting it's going to be Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, Spencer Pratt himself says that he's going to win outright. He's very confident about that. We will see. That's a tall order in any scenario, really. Nick, do we know when the mayor is expected to arrive?
No, we don't know yet. We've been waiting for the mayor to arrive. As I said, the public was really just let in the past couple of minutes. So you see people still filing in here. I would imagine there's a bit of a line forming outside. We are expecting a couple hundred people. That's really all that could be held here. But as of right now, no word on when the mayor will arrive or when she might address the crowd here.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. And we just saw City Council member Monica Rodriguez there in support of Bass at her election watch party there. Nick, thanks so much. Let's give you a live look at the election headquarters, the watch party where Spencer Pratt is tonight. This is in West Los Angeles at Don Antonio's Mexican restaurant. The press are not allowed inside, so there's the privacy drape up. They are all lined up outside. He arrived not that long ago. This is where he announced his campaign a few months back, and this is where he is going to watch those election results pour in tonight. We have our Matthew Seedorf there. We'll be checking in with Matthew momentarily.
San Antonio's, we know it well here on the west side.
And it's a good spot.
Right?
Yep.
Right. All right, we have also heard today from Nithya Rahman. She's a council member who decided kind of at the last minute to run for mayor against somebody she had supported, Karen Bass. Let's hear from her. We are going to actually step away from this party here and go to our chopper Right here we have a live look at Van Nuys Middle School. The polls just closed minutes ago. A lot of people, though, are waiting in some lines at some places, we are told, which, as we mentioned with Andres Gutierrez, means they can still vote if they were in that line before 8 o'clock.
And we are expecting those first results to come out about 8:15, so we're still about 4-5 minutes out. Joining us now for election analysis, we have Shea Crowder, political science professor at LMU. I got it right.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Shea, and independent political strategist Luis Alvarado. Thank you both for being here and spending the evening with us. We're on till 11, by the way. Looking forward to getting some of those results in. Let's start with the mayor's race, since we were talking about that most recently. I'm struck by the fact that the top three, you have Pratt, you have Rahman, they are on opposite sides of the political spectrum. So what does that say to you about the voter electorate as a whole? I'll start with you, Luis.
Well, certainly Los Angeles is one of the most diverse cities in the nation, and diverse not only in ideological but also culturally. And you know, we have Karen Bass, who came in as a progressive Democrat and came in with a hard order to help bring Los Angeles out of the problems they had. And then you had the fire. And she did a pretty good job, but not good enough for Los Angeles. So you have people who are not happy with her. And you know, when you talk about Nithya Raman, you know, she jumped in when everybody was waiting for the other gentleman who ran against Bass last time.
Rick Caruso
to announce he was going to run for governor or for mayor, and he's decided to run for neither. And that's when she said, there's an opening, she's damaged, I need to step in, otherwise somebody else who's not progressive may come in and take that race from her.
I believe she said nobody was stepping in to be another voice and to tackle some of these issues, if I'm right. Your thoughts on what we're seeing tonight?
Yeah, I think, you know, people are clearly looking for something different, right? Across the board, you know, even at the national level, we've seen a sort of resistance towards establishment candidates. And people are looking for, you know, populism. People are looking for new forms of accountability, and people don't want to necessarily go with the status quo. At the same time, at the current moment nationally, we've seen what it looks like when you elect someone who does not have a proven track record. And so I think that Bass is going to be able to gain a lot of support and traction, because at the end of the day, you know, she served in the House of Representatives, she served in the California state legislature, and I think people are becoming, in this political moment, increasingly resistant to having someone come in who's not tested.
Well, we just got that sound from Nithya Raman, so let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
We ran one of the shortest mayoral campaigns ever, I think, or certainly in recent history, and that was only possible because of all of their support. And so tonight, after we've worked so hard, it's really about just coming together and feeling an immense amount of gratitude for everyone. When I first started, I didn't know what to expect. I declared my intention to run on the very last possible day, and only because I felt like the city needed someone to fight for it, and so many other people came to join us to fight for a better future for Los Angeles. And really, like, I am just overwhelmed with gratitude for all of them, because without them, none of this would have been possible. We've had support and volunteers and people knocking on doors throughout the entire city. I've had events everywhere from San Pedro to the Valley. So I'm hopeful that we can get votes everywhere. I know I have a message that resonates very strongly with younger families who are feeling the pinch of high housing costs here in LA. That's the message that we've been putting out there. And for renters and for people who are getting priced out of the city, the message and the policies that we've been sharing have felt very resonant for them. So I think it's less about part of the city and more about, you know, where you are in life and whether this city feels like a place of opportunity to you anymore. And my message is that it can be, but we have to fight for the policies that will make it into a place of opportunity again.
So, Shea, we saw her gain some traction in some of the more recent polls and recent days. How so and why?
I think that many of people view Rahman as a candidate similar to like a Zoran Mamdani. You know, people are excited and hopeful for new voices, candidates who are focusing on affordability, whether it's, she talked about her influence on families, the cost of daycare, the cost of housing, and making all of these accessible. And I think that explains why she's been able to galvanize support from folks on the left.
And on the other side, on the folks on the right, galvanized behind Pratt, right? And there was a whole lot of viral ads that helped propel him as well from his supporters, not necessarily from his campaign. How do you see this playing out? And do you think he has a shot of winning outright tonight, as he confidently says?
No, I don't think he has a shot. I think it's an incredibly difficult task to accomplish. The other reason why Councilwoman Nithya Raman got to do so well is because there are other progressive city council members in the city council who she was very instrumental in helping them get to the city council. So those members already have a built machine in the city of Los Angeles that transfer over to her when she announced her race.
All right, we're going to talk more with you all throughout the night, so thank you for your perspective at this moment. We're going to have more when we come back from election night.
Hey, do we know if he has a gun or not? I could have sworn I heard.
I thought that was cool, but I haven't heard confirmation.
Yeah.
From what I've heard too, apparently he does, but I don't know if that's
true or not.
How do you hotwire a heart monitor? I do not know. So, step one. What? How to wire a heart monitor? Well, I'm not Googling that. Those FBI guys are going to come and arrest me. Step one. You Google it? You ask that. Step two. You see this? You see step two? See doggy on the bottom?
Oh wow.
It's cool. Alex is trying to call me. Oh, criminal. Alright, I'm gonna call him back right now.
People are probably I just don't even know how you're doing it. Yeah, that's why I'm
Suspect is gonna potentially release another hostage.
The best bet you're gonna have to
say that I'm on live with the guy wanted to is held up in the bank with a bomb. They just say they're releasing another hostage? And I need I need your key tag.
I think we know for sure he has a demonstration. I don't know about the hard monitor thing. Yeah.
Bring over your key tag. I'm sure by the time you get here, this will still be going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know.
But then again, the guy's been experienced
Exactly. For sure. No, I wasn't telling you to call me. I just wanted to tell you to bring me your key tag.
Man, I went home to go change out batteries, and I was wishing I got that chair.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. That's an emergency. Alright, I'll catch you later, dude. I'm gonna get back to the standoff. Come here, quick. Suspect is potentially going to release another hostage, so he'll be down to 5 hostages.
Late. In fact, most recently he was placing second, and here's a live look from his election watch party. You see what's hard to see, but it does say Tom Steyer there on the big screen. It looks like people are filing in now that the polls have closed. Some results are starting to trickle in ever so slowly, but don't you worry, we will have all of them as soon as we get those numbers. In the meantime, Javier Becerra's headquarters in downtown LA is keeping a close eye on the ballots coming in, of course.
Fox 11's Laura Diaz joining us live with more. Laura?
Yes, Christina, Marla, we are in downtown Los Angeles, and I can tell you right now that a short time ago they let out a cheer when those early returns came in, and folks were really excited to talk about what they saw on the screen. It was very encouraging. Now, we know, oh, there we go, Michael Bustamante. You were standing here when people let out a cheer, those early returns coming in and showing candidate Becerra making a good showing.
It's a very good showing. It's very encouraging, and the night's still young, but I mean, 24%, that's really good.
Describe for us the mood here tonight, because I look around the room, I see people of all ages, all backgrounds. It's got a definite fiesta vibe to it. How would you describe it?
You know what? I mean, every time we've done events all across California, whether it's in Northern California, Southern California, Fresno, the coastal region, this is the same, where, there's a level of excitement. People are really excited to vote for him, now to celebrate, what we hope will be a win.
Now, we know, of course, that he's here in the building. Mr. Becerra has already arrived here, and we're at a plaza that is very famous here in Southern California. A lot of Latino events are held here. I'm assuming you chose this place for a specific reason.
Well, it's a very important place for the community, right? Los Angeles, it's essentially the birthplace of Los Angeles here at Plaza. And yeah, I mean, it was one of those places where if we're going to do an event, couldn't be a better place than this.
And just talk about, obviously, Mr. Becerra's Latino, his parents were working class people. He attended the finest universities in this country, the first in his family to go to college. How do you see this as a Latino moment?
So, step back, his parents came here to the United States with $12 in their pocket. They were holding on to the American dream. That's what they wanted to do. That's what they've achieved. And in the end, they provided a pathway for Javier Becerra and his siblings to be able to succeed. Now, as a dad, Javier Becerra and his wife have done the same for their 3 daughters, right? So he went to Stanford. He went to Stanford Law. His daughters have all gone to college and professional work. That's what he wants for everybody else, right? That American dream is something that should not be unique. It's something that should actually be, available to everyone. And as, if he's fortunate enough to be governor, that's exactly what he'll do.
What are the pivotal moments through the night that you'll be looking at? Because I know every campaign, they have an idea in their head about when they need to turn a corner. What are your sort of watershed moments you're going to be looking at?
Look, we came in as the front runner, clearly with the first numbers, maintain that same position. So, as we go through the night, we'll just keep a very close eye on the numbers as they come in and make the assessments as we go forward.
All right, and it was a crowded field, 62.
62 or 64?
I don't know. It was in the 60s. I'm telling you, you needed like a 7th inning stretch just to get through the ballot.
Yeah, no, I mean, in my ballot, for instance, I think he was on the 3rd page. So it needed to be intentional. You needed to find him, and which I did.
All right, Michael. Thank you so much. Absolutely. We'll be checking back with you throughout the evening. All right. So there are some churros over there, I'm told, Mexican sweetbreads. We're going to be checking out the festivities here all night. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from downtown LA, sending it back to the studio.
Checking back with you. Our live team coverage, meanwhile, of election night continues in Northern California.
For a closer look at the governor's race, we turn now to Greg Lee from our sister station in San Francisco. He's live with an update there. Greg?
Yeah, Marla, Christine, good evening to you. I would tell you, after looking at these early numbers, this is sort of what we expected, right? Ballots are counted as they are received. We know Republicans in this state early on outpaced Democrats in the way that they were voting, which is early and often, because as we looked at that list of 61 gubernatorial candidates, Republicans really had 2 choices, Chad Bianco or Steve Hilton. So Hilton leading this pack, that is what we would expect. And we've been tempering our viewers all night to say expect shifts in how these votes are handled and how this count looks as the days and potentially the weeks go on as California's registrars look to count these votes. What we do know is that a lot of Democrats, particularly in LA County, even up here in the Bay Area, held on to their ballots because with so many Democrats in this race, they were waiting to see how this race would shape up. And so we know in LA County, 30% were returned yesterday. Certainly in the Bay Area, a lot of folks were in line anecdotally to turn in their ballots. So certainly it's going to take time to count those votes, but especially with so many Democrats holding on to them, we could certainly see these numbers change quite a bit as time goes.
Greg, what are we seeing in terms of some early returns? Have those come in yet?
Yeah, Marla, on those early votes, we know Steve Hilton is leading the pack at 28%, Javier Becerra 24%, and Tom Steyer 18%. Those three are the ones that we expected to kind of be leading this, right? That is what we saw in the last two polls that we saw leading up to tonight, and that is what the early numbers are showing. I would anticipate as more of these mail-in ballots are counted, 23 million that were sent out, about 20% had been returned as of tonight. We expect that number to rise to about the mid-30s or 35, 38, 39% as this time goes. But those are likely to steer more Democrat. And the question is, how did people vote? We heard from a lot of voters sort of anecdotally that they weren't necessarily voting for their favorite candidate. They were looking at issues of viability. Who did they think were going to move on to the top two? Democrats wanted to see if they could lock out a Steve Hilton. Republicans certainly wanted to make sure a Republican made it to November's general election. So that was sort of in the back of voters' minds as they were making this decision on a very long ballot.
Greg, you've been covering elections for us this whole season long. You are in San Francisco. Obviously, if you're governor of California, it's a big state to govern 40 million people. Wondering if you can gauge perspective on the governor's race from where you are in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think voters here felt the same way that a lot of voters felt across the state, is that this race changed a lot in just a matter of months. If you look back to polling in March, Javier Becerra was at 5%, the party that Laura was at, and now he's leading this thing. Eric Swalwell's departure on April 12th completely transformed this race. It was a sleepy race, candidly, when Fox 11 and KTVU held our debate in February. And then after that Eric Swalwell bombshell, we saw things change. We saw people pay attention, and we saw a lot of momentum in these last couple of weeks as people started to wake up and decide they needed to have their say in this election. So really it has been changing at breakneck speed over the last couple of weeks and the last month.
We're going to be here until 11 o'clock tonight. We'll be on all night if we really needed to. The question, though, is, Greg, when do we expect to actually have a clear idea of who is moving on to November?
Yeah, and that is the million-dollar question. California has long been panned by Republicans, by the President Donald Trump, about how slow our voting process is. Certainly you have to verify signatures and you have to go through the processes to make these decisions. We're hearing from the Secretary of State that certainly it'll at least take days, if not weeks. And that is complicated by the fact that so many ballots were turned in yesterday and today, and particularly if it is close, especially for that second position. It looks like Javier Becerra will be the top finisher here, at least how the numbers are showing it based on polling. But that if that second position is close, then certainly it could take some time to verify every single vote, guys.
Good perspective. All right, thanks so much. We'll check back with you. In the meantime, reminder, the polls did close about 30 minutes ago, 8 o'clock tonight. We're waiting for more results to come in. Here is a look right now at what you have in the mayor's race, with 30% of the votes coming in right now. Mayor Karen Bass on top, Spencer Pratt 10% below her. When we talked about Republicans voting earlier, so these numbers are interesting to see here. And Nithya Raman right there with 20%. Again, as you heard Greg Lee just talk about there, it could be a long night, a long few days. He said maybe even weeks before we actually know who is ahead in these races.
Stay with Fox 11. Our election night coverage continues right after the break.
was kind enough to get that footage over. She was the one who found the footage for us and asked permission for us to be allowed to use that footage of officers raiding the suspect's home. Great page. She dedicates herself to finding missing children here in Kern County, runaways and so forth. We'll be working a lot with her in the next coming months. So go give her a sub on YouTube, follow her pages. We're in it for the long run, guys. Thank you, Trina.
Live look at the City of Industry and the nervous system, if you will, where all those ballots are being counted on this election night as our election coverage continues right after the break.
blocked off. I forgot.
If you want to take a summer vacation, the life is not blocked off now.
The hospital's blocked off too?
She said all the traffic jam from the ambulances.
Oh, at Mercy, right here
Yeah.
on Truxton.
Yeah, she's the manager there.
Oh, wow.
And she's been there since like 8:30 this morning. She
Oh,
can't
wow.
leave.
We can see it pretty well here. There's absolutely nothing going on. Once again, another round of FBI showing up. Thank you so much for that super chat. Make sure transparency and radio is showing is offline. Yeah, I noticed that since online scanners are not showing offline right now. So let me pull up the best high quality, the highest quality scanner you guys can get. What, 30? 30-foot antenna. You got a better antenna than the police company. This guy has a 30-foot antenna.
Want some DoorDash? Some drinks will be good, but I don't even know if they will get up here.
That's what I keep saying.
Hey, Eric Shaw is Danny from the library. Yo, I actually do remember Danny from the library.
All right, guys, I'm going to share some stuff. None of this has been confirmed. We're making connections now with the address, the home. They rated it earlier, 506 Oildale Drive. Making connections to this individual who has a conviction for certain things, which I'm getting ready to share. None of this has been confirmed. We're just making connections here. So this is not an official press release, but this is from information I have gathered so far as all this is developing still. Let me pull up some stuff and we'll get to it.
There's for Mayor Karen Bass, hoping to keep her seat. Not clear if she has arrived at her campaign or election headquarters on this election night. This is in Koreatown.
Take it out to Spencer Pratt's headquarters as well. This is in West LA, and there we have a popular figure there in the red coat and black hat there. When it comes to Hollywood, we are looking at two people talking right now. I'm sure there's much more of a festive party in the background there. We're going to check back later.
And right now, let's get you a look at some of those numbers that are coming in the LA mayoral's race as the polls closed 40 minutes ago. Here's a look with 45% precincts reporting Bass with the lead of 37%, Pratt 30%, Rahman staying steady with 20%, and Adam Miller 4%. So Bass with a lead outright. However, Pratt has been picking up as more and more reporting has come into play. In the governor's race, we now have gubernatorial candidate Antonio Villaraigosa. He has conceded in that race. Of course, the former mayor of L.A., he issued a statement. It reads in part, tonight didn't turn out the way we hoped, he says. He calls it an inflection point on issues including housing, affordability, and the cost of living, and pledged to remain engaged, saying, quote, I'm not stepping aside from the cause, only from this race.
We do have some election results, some races that have been called, but really races that are really no surprise. Shirley Weber wins Secretary of State. She is the Democrat incumbent. She was challenged by a Republican and Orange County Supervisor Don Wagner, this being more of a Democratic state. Not a big surprise there. Also, Malia Cohen for State Controller. That race has been called.
And for Attorney General, the Associated Press has now just officially called that race. Rob Bonta, incumbent, will remain the Attorney General of California. Michael Gates out of Huntington Beach was the Republican challenger. Bonta holding on to his seat tonight.
So basically, no surprises here so far with these results on those races.
All right, a hot race being followed closely in Northern California tonight. Who will replace Nancy Pelosi in California's 11th congressional district?
State Senator Scott Wiener has been in the lead in recent polling.
Let's go live to San Francisco and Betty Yu from our sister station, KTVU. She's at the Wiener election party tonight. Betty?
Yeah, I can tell you the mood here is already very celebratory. We're waiting for that first batch of results to drop, but I can tell you State Senators Scott Wiener's supporters and volunteers tell me they're feeling very, very optimistic at this point in the night. I'm joined live right now by State Senator Scott Wiener. How are you feeling at this point?
I feel great. A little bit tired, but very energized. We've gotten such great response from the voters. People really want change. They want us to address the real problems that people face with affordability, more housing, a more universal health care system, universal access to child care, paid family leave, all the things that make people's lives better. And, of course, sticking up for the rule of law and democracy.
A lot of San Franciscans have said that affordability, the cost of living, homelessness, those are some of their top priorities. What do you think about your platform resonated with these voters?
Well, I've been working for years particularly on just changing completely how we approach housing so that we can build enough housing, and then also forcing insurance companies to cover more kinds of treatment and capping costs for people. So this is the work we've been doing for a long time, expanding paid parental leave, for example, expanding child care access, and we need to go big on those issues, because when we look at how Donald Trump came to power, how this disaster happened, part of it is that people lost confidence that government was addressing their problems, and people's lives were getting more expensive and just more difficult with more pressure on people, and that causes people to take risks, and that's how Donald Trump came into power, one of the reasons. And we need to make sure that once we take power back, which we will do, that we act boldly and quickly to reduce people's cost of living.
Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi has long held this seat. If you win, how will you build on her legacy, but also bring your own vision to it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Nancy Pelosi has been a hero on health care, and I want to build on her work. I want to move towards Medicare for all, but until we get there, we have to strengthen the system that we have. Nancy Pelosi did that work. I will build on that work. I also am very, very focused on housing. Housing is a national problem, and we have not had a national federal housing policy in this country in over 40 years. We have to bring that back and really move mountains on housing. And of course, we need to protect our democracy and stick up for our immigrant neighbors and for LGBTQ people and women's reproductive freedom. All the things that.
Tomorrow, the work continues. Let's keep fighting for a better future for California. Hearing from Matt Mahan, the mayor of San Jose, the race for governor in California likely to come up short as a three-person race at this moment as we're getting new batches of ballots coming in, 38% right now, and in the lead, Steve Hilton by less than 10,000 votes. As you can see, both at 26% with Javier Becerra, Tom Steyer not far behind. So right now it's Becerra and Hilton trying to secure their spot come November on the ballot. So we're following this closely on Live Now from Fox. Plenty of different live pictures at these watch parties. Javier Becerra, as well as Tom Steyer and Steve Hilton. All of these watch parties we're keeping our eye on for the time being. Let's take a quick 2-minute break.
Family leave, housing, lower energy costs by having so much more clean energy. These are the tangible things we can do to make people's lives better. So it's not about more left or less left. It's about delivering solutions to make people's lives better and more affordable.
Hey, Senator Scott Wiener, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
So again, we are live at the election night party for State Senator Scott Wiener. A lot of people in this room right now. It's very festive, very celebratory, but of course we're still waiting for those initial results to roll in. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Betty, thank you so much. We're going to talk more about some of the big issues here. Rising costs and soaring inflation are top of mind for California voters.
California Politics 360's Ashley Zavala joins us now live in Sacramento with a deeper look on election night. We're seeing some of those early results come in for the governor's race. Right now, Becerra and Hilton are out front there. Ashley, any surprised reaction from you there?
Exactly what the two highest quality polls that recently came out showed, from the Public Policy Institute of California. Yes, they have and Steve Hilton again moving on and advancing to the November general election.
We're having a little bit of issue with your mic, Ashley, so we're going to get that worked out, and hopefully we can have you back here in our coverage. So let's get you caught up on some of those numbers. So early results are that, do we have that look? Good. Steve Hilton and Javier Becerra, 26% with 13% reporting in so far. So they are tied neck and neck. Tom Steyer, 20%. Chad Bianco with 12% right now.
We're reminded as we look at these numbers, though, Republicans
trump not each other.
Okay, well, a lot still to come. More votes to be counted as we look here with 38% of the vote. Steve Hilton with a slight lead over Javier Becerra. It's going to be interesting. Volunteer ballot counters going to be busy tonight as we see that big turnout.
Yeah, Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes is live from the LA County ballot counting facility in the City of Industry with a rush to get those results. It's picking up behind you there, Rob.
Yeah, it is. You know, this is where every vote cast in LA County is going to be tallied. We're talking about in-person ballots, mail-in ballots, provisional ballots, and they all add up to a slow and complicated vote counting process. Now, California is well known for its pace when it comes to vote processing, which can take days, sometimes even weeks in some races. Right now, the polls have been closed for about 45 minutes. 49 minutes, I should say. The first batches of results were released just a few minutes ago. Those numbers are tallies of all the vote by mail ballots and those in-person early votes. All the other ballots, of course, are going to take more time. The county registrar says workers there will be counting ballots throughout the night with ongoing election updates roughly every 35 to 45 minutes. The main goal, election officials say, is accuracy before speed.
Vote counting will take place tonight. We will continue to process and count ballots until all of the ballots that were cast today at the vote centers are included in the vote totals. So yes, that will go into the late hours of tonight and probably even the early hours of tomorrow morning.
Now, if you want to keep an eye on LA County ballot counting process, you're welcome to come by the center here in the City of Industry. They have an observation area set up. They also are live streaming the counting so you could watch from home. But again, the first batches of results have just been released. Another batch are expected in the upcoming minutes. Reporting live in City of Industry, Rob Hayes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, important work they're doing there for our democracy, counting those votes. Rob, thank you so much. Polls closing nearly an hour ago now. We have more results coming in.
There's a lot at stake. Our live election coverage will continue in just a few moments.
Pelosi has long held this seat. If you win, how will you build on her legacy, but also bring your own vision to it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Nancy Pelosi has been a hero on health care, and I want to build on her work. I want to move towards Medicare for all, but until we get there, we have to strengthen the system that we have. Nancy Pelosi did that work. I will build on that work. I also am very focused on housing. Housing is a national problem, and we have not had a national federal housing policy policy in this country in over 40 years. We have to bring that back and really move mountains on housing. And of course, we need to protect our democracy and stick up for our immigrant neighbors and for LGBTQ people and women's reproductive freedom. All the things that Nancy Pelosi did fight to protect people's basic rights.
You're the heavy favorite.
Well, you're right about that, Marla. Alex just took the stand here, about 5 minutes ago, standing ovation. And he's been telling all of his supporters that this evening so far has been going exactly as he wanted it to go, a runoff, thinking it's going to be decided in November.
Just to talk about issues, it's going to be about who can actually deliver. And I'm the only candidate in the race with a proven track record of being able to build the coalitions needed to turn bold progressive ideas into bold progressive laws. I'm the only one who's done that, and that's fundamentally what differentiates me from the other candidates.
I think this race is also about a broader conversation about the direction of the Democratic Party, and some polling has suggested that Democrats want the party to move more toward the center. How do you reflect on that?
Well, what I hear from voters is that whether it's not about moving to the left or moving to the center, it's about delivering results and being focused like a laser on delivering results on issues that tangibly make people's lives better. Things like child care, paid family leave, housing, lower energy costs by having so much more clean energy. These are the tangible things we can do to make people's lives better. So it's not about more left or less left. Solutions to make people's lives better and more affordable.
Hey, Senator Scott Wiener, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
So again, we are live at the election night party for State Senator Scott Wiener. A lot of people in this room right now. It's very festive, very celebratory, but of course we're still waiting for those initial results to roll in. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Betty, thank you so
much to that conversation between two of our partners there in Southern California and Northern California, and that first batch did just drop, and right now Scott Wiener is leading that campaign to end up on the ballot come November by a significant margin right now over Connie Chan, that being the candidate that Pelosi endorsed to replace her in the 11th district in Northern California. All right, I'm Andy Mack, you're on Live from Fox. We're back after this.
Yes.
And our election night coverage will continue right after the break. Stay with us.
And Malibu dealing with the Palisades fire. Jake Levine was expected to give him a run. He is a distant third. And now we see Brad Sherman knocked out of first place by film worker, producer Larry Thompson. That likely won't hold. You can see all that blue in the general election. But right now it's looking like Sherman and Thompson will head to the runoff in November. A lot to look at. We'll keep running the numbers, guys.
All right, Jory Rand, thank you. Christina, we have a few minutes left. What are you thinking as we look? Oh, well, first, Rob Bonta. This was an easy one to predict pretty much. The first statewide office in which we have a clear winner who is not going to face a runoff in November, Attorney General Rob Bonta. Now, Christina, what are you gleaning from what we're seeing in terms of how tight things are?
Yeah, and that's a good one to look at because Republicans are running stronger already than they have in several previous election cycles. So when Javier Becerra was elected to be Attorney General in 2018, for example, the Republican candidate only got like 33% of the vote. So already you're seeing a 41% of the vote, just right there. And the votes aren't even entirely counted for that Republican, even though Bonta won. So you are seeing that turnout. You're seeing that energy. I did also note, I didn't remember the name of the candidate that Becerra defeated in 2018, also named Stephen. So that's, could be an interesting little bit of trivia there. Should this work out to be a Becerra-Hilton race? I was fascinated by what Chad Bianco said and talked about this entire campaign. And to me, this battle for the soul of the Republican Party, it played out on a debate stage with the Democrats sitting right there as we had these really big debates about what's best for our state. Does the California dream still exist? What are the real problems that we have? And also, do Californians want somebody that is going to challenge President Trump or be President Trump's ally? And those two Republicans both are on the Trump side of politics. And so what would that end up looking like? That real exchange of ideas was interesting. What will a Republican versus a Democrat look like in this race? Gavin Newsom really never had a strong challenger in all of the times he was on this ballot, including the recall election. And then when you look back, that you're going to start to see complaints about the top 2 primary here in California, which we've had for a long time. Nobody complained when it was Kamala Harris versus Loretta Sanchez, and she made history in 2016, becoming this senator, defeating a fellow Democrat. You're going to start to see a lot of complaints if you do see this shutout tonight, and what this might look like if you end up having 2 Democrats on the ballot, especially about that money that they're going to spend. Like, it's money wasted when they could be spending it on bigger elections when the stakes are much higher at the national level.
Yeah. All right. Christina Bellantoni, USC Annenberg Media Center, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh, we've got a minute left. You got any other questions?
Well, I think just what stands out hearing you speak about this is the reminder that this is about our state, but really there are so many larger implications about who wins tonight and how that impacts things in Washington, D.C. So.
And what policy will look like. Because really when you had, as I mentioned, those Republicans having these ideas and how they're both, pro-Trump and believe what he's doing is correct, the Democrats aren't that different on policy. There were some nuances when you ask them things like the billionaire's tax, and that's something that got Steyer a lot of attention, particularly from progressives, endorsed by Bernie Sanders, has gotten a lot of that progressive support because he has said, look, we're going to make real fundamental change and I don't take any money from corporate interests. What will that look like if that's Becerra in charge? And think of all the people he knows and is friends with over his many years in office.
Indeed.
Who are they going to work with?
Thank you very much, Professor Bellantoni. We'll be right back with more election coverage at 9 p.m.
No, right there in here. It'll probably help you get coffee.
Most floors are occupying that church over there. Is it above the first floor? Thanks so much for coming over. Appreciate that. Shout out to Ken.
People hiding in there? Yeah, in the building.
It was a Tuesday. He got almost 5,000 likes. We got 85 people watching the rest. Got like that.
Everyone can't run now.
They walked into the front door and was telling people it's the worst day that they were going to. I was like, it's a bad day that you came in or something.
I'm just waiting to see like.
Is that just an elevator in here?
Is that somebody?
I followed both of them.
Hey guys, this is breaking news. We're here in Bakersfield, California for a armed standoff. The suspect has a bomb. FBI Federal Bureau of Investigation is on scene along with ATF pictures this morning and local agencies this time. Bomb squad and canister right here. SWAT team is on scene. This is an armed standoff. The suspect allegedly has a POMB strapped to his chest. Breaking news coming out of Bakersfield, California. We've hit 5,000 likes. Thank you guys so much for those likes. That's a lot of likes, bro. That is a lot of likes. That might be the most likes I've done already. Show down the chat? Yes. CBS running a picture. CBS is running a picture.
Show the second one.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, I'll just go in there myself. Come on inside.
Their emails on their customers, right? Well, there is a suspect inside this Chase Bank right here with a phone truck who's trying to get five hostages there. I think there's 5 in one. I think there's 5 hostages along with possible other victims that are being accepted. The FBI is moving up at this time.
No, we can't. Look, more going in.
ABC News, Story Told, Daily Mail. Okay, suspect is allowing one of the hostages to call her family. Suspect is allowing one of the hostages to call her family at this time.
All right, guys, back. I do apologize. I was
Now, I know what you're all thinking. Your Kalshi market predicted me being here tonight, right? I got it. But let me tell you something. It's important to stand with the leaders that have always had your communities back. Am I right?
That's right, that's right.
Has Karen Bass always had our back?
Yeah.
And that's why we're here tonight. We have watched violent assaults on our communities. And who showed up to take it on? Karen Bass.
That's right.
When teachers were not considering coming to work, and our kids would have suffered the consequences, and working families would have suffered by having to find out where to put their kids, who fought to make sure that a deal was brokered so our kids could go to school? It was Karen Bass. This isn't a job for those that don't have the tenacity, the commitment to show up for working families. This is a job for someone who has dedicated her life to show up for working families. And for a cross-section of the city of Los Angeles, the diversity here is a reflection of how Karen Bass is showing up for every single one of us. Black, brown, Asian, we're all here tonight in unity because we are the city of angels, and we're here to elect the angel that is going to continue to lead our city, Karen Bass. I am so proud to be here tonight with my colleagues, and I just got one thing to say. I want to thank Yvonne Wheeler for setting us up right, but there is one chant
that we've got, because we know it's going to be a long night and we know it's going to be a long few days. And we're going to get excited, and we're going to have to keep that momentum going to keep us going into November. So, I got a question. ¿Se puede? Sí se puede. ¿Se puede? Sí se puede. ¿Se puede? Sí se puede. And now it is my honor to introduce my colleague, President of Los Angeles City Council, Marquise Harris Dawson.
All right. One more time for Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez, everybody. I got one question. Are you ready for 4 more years of Karen Bass? We're so excited to be here. We want to thank everybody who knocked on the door, who made a phone call, who wrote a check, who put out a sign, who spoke up for the mayor. When I'll just go ahead and say it, the media and some other elected officials tried to bury her, right? But she rose up tonight to be #1 in our primary for mayor next year. And we're so excited because of everything that my colleague said. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put it on the record. I'm proud to have, like a lot of my brothers and sisters up here, we got an LAUSD educated mayor of the city of Los Angeles, all right? We got somebody who doesn't need a driver to take them to the barbecue spot on Slauson, is that right? They don't need a driver to hang out in Pacoima. This is our leader. This is homegrown, tried and tested, going all the way back to the civil unrest, to the economic meltdowns that we've had. Karen Bass has been there, been steady, and been a leader for all of us and for all of Los Angeles. And we're excited to elect her for 4 more years.
Please welcome members of Mayor Karen Bass's family, Yvette and Cynthia Lechuga.
Let me look at Nelly Todd. She's on 3, that's all you need. She's the finance team. Right here. Are we waiting for I know, we're waiting. Are we? Okay. Oh, okay. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, not talking loud.
This is a Mayor Karen Bass election night watch party taking place in Koreatown in Los Angeles. Of course, Bass is running for her 2nd term re-election in the city of Los Angeles for mayor. We are getting live results into the newsroom. Take a look here. Karen Bass leading in these early calculations so far. Just 45% of those estimated votes have been counted. Bass has about 37% of those votes. Spencer Pratt, a former reality TV star, registered Republican, running as an independent, right behind at 30%. City Council member Nithya Raman at 20%. Of course, this is only 45% of those votes counted in the LA mayoral race. Something here on Live Now from Fox we've been watching very closely, and we have you covered when those races are called. It's so good to be with you here on election night. 6 states participating in those primary elections, including California, the most populous state in the nation, will decide who will replace Governor Gavin Newsom among the LA mayoral race and some closely watched U.S. House races. We know that the congressional maps have changed. There is a lot to watch for in the next couple of hours. I have you covered. My name's Alexandra Goldberg. We're going to step away for a quick 2-minute break, but when we get back, we're doing all things election.
Stay in the car, boss. Stay in the car. Hands out the door.
I'm sorry?
Hands out the door.
I'm sorry?
Hands out! Come on out for me.
Are you having issues?
Yes, I'm having an issue.
Okay, what is it?
Come on back for me. Anybody else in the car?
No, just me. Are you okay?
I'm perfectly fine. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm just asking about you. I mean,
Okay, don't be worried about me. I'm worried about you. Why are you all over the road?
I had no idea I was all over the road.
You didn't?
No.
Have we had anything to drink today?
I had a drink before I left the bar for tonight, but that's it.
Okay.
Just one.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay. You can put your hands down now.
Okay.
Where are you from?
Here.
You have your ID on you?
It's in the car.
All right.
Would you like me to go get it?
No, just give me a second. I'm waiting till my partner gets here.
Your name is?
Deputy Daniels.
Daniels. Okay.
All right, so how much have we had to drink today?
One drink before I let a Bloody Mary before I left there at the bar tonight.
All right, so why are we all over the road?
I had no idea. I mean, I have new tires, but I don't know if anything other than
Okay,
that.
I was following. You got called in by several people. Several. I've got called in by several people, and while I was behind you, you're going over the right side. You're going over the left side.
I mean, you can if you want to drive my truck with my tires, my new tires. They're kind of a little funky, but
come on, walk back out this way for me. Do you know who lives here?
My friends.
You live here?
Yes,
okay.
I live here.
What's the address here? 4132. Reference the vehicle that somebody hit. Do we have RP on that?
Hit? Would you mind letting me know what's going on here?
I already did. You're called in as all over the road, and that you hit something.
What did I hit?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I didn't hit anything. So can you please let me know what I hit? Because I didn't
Good,
hit
you can talk to him.
What did I hit? I hit nothing.
Where were you headed to?
Right here. That's where my park is trucked.
Can you stay with her?
Can you please tell me what you need? Otherwise,
Okay.
you have to let me go.
Right. No, I ain't got to do nothing.
Excuse
me? Okay, I ain't got to do nothing. You're going to stay here until we're done with you. That's no more. You keep talking. That's it. We're done. You can give me a little pouty face all you want. Where's your driver's license? Where's your ID?
You tell me.
Ma'am.
You tell me, mother.
I'll go find it. Don't worry about it.
Ma'am.
I was married to a motor cop of 15 years.
Okay,
I don't have to deal with this shit. No.
You ask, I want to explain you what's going on, okay?
Please tell me.
Do you want to know what's going on?
Please tell me. Please tell because he is being an asshole.
Okay,
so please tell me.
So then talk to me, okay?
Thank you.
You have been called as a reckless driver, that you are unable to maintain lane.
So can you please tell me what I have done?
If you're going to be interrupting me, okay, you're not going to know why you're being pulled over, okay? You've been called as a reckless.
I was married. I was married.
You don't want to know, right?
To a motor cop for 15 years.
All you care is just argue
so
with me,
please
right?
tell me what you need from me so I can go.
Okay.
What do you need? I gotta go.
Right now, you are a suspect in a hit and run case. Okay, we investigating. You are
Hit
detained.
and run?
You are detained. You are not free to go.
Hit and run?
Yes, that's what we're trying to find out.
What's your name?
I'm sorry. I had no idea.
What's your name?
Okay.
Please tell me what you're trying to do.
If it's a misunderstanding,
Yes.
you're gonna be free to go. But
Yes.
we need to find out. So you
Yes.
need to relax. We just investigating. Okay.
Okay.
Nobody yet said that
Your
you are.
Your name is
It's right here.
Oh Jesus Christ!
It's not Jesus Christ.
What's your name?
No, it's 2/3 to the way.
Don't touch me.
Can you tell me?
Do
what,
not touch me.
Can you tell me what that says?
What's your name?
It's Deputy Hlebanowski.
She's got two different IDs.
What a what? It's a what to Dineski was what? I'm Heather Sunderman. Heather Sunder. I'm Heather
Okay.
Heather. Formerly Heather said Sunderman. I'm divorced. I
Okay.
was Sunderman. Now I am.
And what is the reason for you to have two different?
Because I have children with the same last name as Sunderman.
How much you had to drink? I can smell it on your breath.
One drink. What's one? A Bloody Mary. It's just one. Can you tell me what the problem was?
I'm trying, but you're interrupting me, and you only get to argue with me.
I have been very I've been very quiet.
No,
What is
where are you?
Can you tell
Rudy?
me? Can you tell me what's going on
So
tonight?
you're gonna listen to me this time without interrupting me what I have to say?
Please tell me
Okay,
what's going on tonight.
I'm gonna repeat myself then. You were caught as a reckless driver, unable to maintain lane.
That is very surprising to me.
Okay, all right. You carry on to argue.
Can you
with
tell
me?
me what's going on tonight, please?
All right, guys.
I'm the former wife.
I need somebody to stay with her so I can find out what the heck is going on. Okay?
I would also like to know what the heck is going on tonight. Please, is someone hurting that? Is there someone gone?
We're trying to figure it out, okay? What's your name?
Heather.
Heather. We're trying to figure out.
One moment. I'm going to grab my phone.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Stand right there, please.
Excuse me?
You're detained right now.
4113.
Okay?
I need my phone.
No,
I need my phone. I need my phone.
Not right now.
Excuse me? Not right now? What is your
Deputy Martin Reyes.
Martin Reyes.
Yes, ma'am.
Please call Deputy Key West Police Officer.
Who? Who you want me to call?
Bodret.
How are you doing? Okay, what's going on? How are you related?
So this gentleman had his blinker on, and he was going like 30, 35 miles an hour.
Okay, who are you?
I'm Mark. This is my car right up here. I was right behind this.
You're the one who called us.
He is the one who called you.
Okay, let me talk to you first. I want to be right with you, okay? So you're the one who called us.
Yes.
Tell me what's going on.
She hit me when I was pulling out of Sugarloaf Boulevard, and then she took off. So I turned around and chased her. She did a loop, come back on US 1, and I called the deputy. Well, I called the sheriff's department. Followed her. This gentleman passed me because I was only going 35. When he passed me, he realized that this guy was messed up because he was swerving back and forth. The lady was swerving back and forth. And then I guess you or somebody else pulled him over and went in there. And that's as far as I know.
All right. Do you have the damage to your car?
Yeah.
Pablo.
Is that the old guy or the young guy?
He's my age. Is that
What's your age?
Is that old to you?
I don't know what your age is. How old are you?
I'm sorry, but if you don't know what if you don't know how old I am, you have no business.
Well, you gotta be rude. I'm not being rude to you.
Yes, you are.
Why am I being rude to you?
You know what you're doing.
Yes.
So she sideswiped you?
Yeah, she sideswiped me in the light. She's turning into Sugarloaf Boulevard, and she didn't make it. She just hit me.
Okay, so she's gonna have a damage to the driver's side of the vehicle, right?
She should have it to this side.
Yeah, so the driver's side of the vehicle.
She should.
15 years.
Okay, 15 years what?
Robert
Robert
Sunderman,
Who's that?
Key West KD.
Okay. Once again, we are not in Key West.
I know. Neither were you when you followed me.
I just got here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't know. Did you pull me over?
That was me.
That was you pulled me over. Where were you when you pulled me over?
Right behind you.
Where?
Right behind you.
Where?
Right behind you.
Where?
Right out here.
You think I don't know?
Where was I?
Give me my phone and I'll tell you.
Where was I? Why? Because your friend behind you called you?
Stay right there. You're going to be placing handcuffs. You understand? Ma'am, you're going to be putting handcuffs if you don't relax.
Please call.
We're not calling anybody.
Please call.
We are not calling anybody. You're an adult, okay?
Key West KD.
He's not going to be able to do anything for you, okay?
Why are you doing this?
Because you're detained right now. And if you keep trying to walk away, you're going to be handcuffed.
Why am I detained?
Because we're conducting a criminal investigation, okay?
For what?
For crash, hit, and run.
Who did that?
And how much do we really have to drink?
I did not do anything. One Bloody Mary. One.
Just one?
One. Yes, just one. Give me my phone.
You will not going to get a phone.
I will cooperate.
Man, you're not going back to that vehicle, okay?
I want to talk to Detective Pablo of the Key West PD, and I want to do it right now, or I'm gonna mose my.
You need to relax. Calm down, please.
Then call him.
I'm not calling him. I'm not calling anybody.
I'm not gonna relax until you tell me you're gonna call him.
Okay, so I was just behind this gentleman, and he had his flashers on, and was going like 30, 35 miles an hour, and I was like, all right, I gotta get around this guy. I don't know what he's doing. As soon as I get ahead of him, I see what he was doing because this person's all over the road. So I did the same thing he did. I just hung back when we were pulling up on this past bridge. You or the other officer, I saw you pull out right behind me, and I knew exactly what was going on then, that you were waiting for that person, and that's when I pulled over to the side so you could get around me and get behind this.
Okay, so you didn't.
I was not damaged.
Okay.
No.
You didn't witness the crash.
No, sir.
And you basically just witnessed her like being all over the road.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right, you good go. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
We're not calling anybody, okay? You're an adult.
I want my phone. please call Pablo. I didn't do anything. I haven't hurt anybody.
You're failing to obey my commands to stay still.
No, I have not. You did not tell me to stay still.
You stay right there. You're going to be placing handcuffs.
Did he tell me to stay still?
Yes,
no,
we
he did
did.
not.
We both did.
No, he did not.
Yes, we did.
Kremla! Lima! Linda! Let me call my friend.
You need to relax.
No, what you're doing to me is unfair, and it's unjust, and it's not right. Linda! Linda!
Hey, have a seat. Relax.
I am relaxed.
Have a seat.
Linda! If you do not call Pablo,
You need to have a seat.
You're going to have a problem.
Have a seat.
You're hurting me. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. I'm
You
very
need to follow our orders. Sit down and stay still.
Pablo!
Lord.
A vision where government actually functions and delivers every day on this city's beautiful, big-hearted values, where we stand up against ICE, where we show up for our gay and trans siblings. A vision where our neighborhoods are safe, where they're full of trees and shade and alive with activity and people and good food and community. We had a beautiful vision, a vision of Los Angeles that's joyful and welcoming and ambitious. And we believe that Angelenos were hungry for that vision, and we were right. We were right. Look at all of you. But here's the reality. That vision threatens some very powerful forces. It does. And they came at us with everything that they had. The corporate landlords, the city hall insiders, the corporations who have spent years making sure City Hall worked for them and not for the people. These powerful interests spent millions of dollars against this little campaign. Spent millions trying to preserve this city's broken and unjust status quo. And we said no. And then came the MAGA machine. They saw an opportunity in Los Angeles to buy a foothold in our beautiful city to advance a dark agenda. They poured money in from all over the country. They brought the right-wing media, the political ecosystem to bear, and attempted to infuse our city with hate, with fear, and with cruelty. But we said no. Not with billionaires or powerful corporations, not with fear and with divisiveness, but with something far more powerful. We fought back with love and with hope. And we fought back with all of you. Thousands of you donated whatever you could and helped us unlock the largest matching funds haul for a primary in LA history. You helped us shape plans and policies for what we can actually build in LA together. And then you knocked on doors in every corner of the city and told voters about those plans. You made phone calls after long days at work. You hosted events in your living rooms and your backyards. You stood outside grocery stores with clipboards. You made your own incredible videos, absolutely incredible. Did you guys see some of those incredible videos? You talked to your friends, your families, your coworkers. You found 100 different ways to help this little campaign grow and to bring more people into this fight for a better LA. And it was so beautiful. With every dollar, every door knocked, every hour volunteered, you proved that our city and its future are not for sale.
And that is City Council member Nithya Raman speaking right now at her campaign watch party in downtown Los Angeles. It's interesting, so far she hasn't used the words "I concede," but she is speaking in past tense there, but speaking very enthusiastically, very proudly about the campaign that she ran. We do remember that she entered the race on the very last day. Now we're going to go hear from gubernatorial candidate Tom Steyer.
Insurance companies, clean energy, here comes Chevron. Taxing AI, what about Meta? Lowering electric bills, hello PG&E. To quote FDR, never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred. But here's the thing. Their spending wasn't personal. It wasn't about who I am. It was about what the corporations believed I could do. For the corporations, elections are always about policy. For the corporations, politics isn't about parties, it's about profits. They do not think in red and blue teams. They think in red and black ink. They think in dollar signs and balance sheets. Their priorities and decisions have proved soulless. They're totally unconcerned with the well-being of working people, with the health of our democracy, with the very concept of justice. They will support who and whatever they have to in order to
campaign's leadership, to Ian, our incredible campaign manager, to Tessa and Katie. Thank you for what you put together. We built a real viable campaign in record time, and it was only because you all gave it everything you had. To every single member of our campaign staff, Jeff and Courtney, who were there from the beginning, Jamie, Megan, our super volunteers, too many to name, my council office leadership, Michelle, Andrea, Day, Stella, Sarah, Armida. Your passion, your talent, your creativity, and your belief in the city carried us to this
moment.